Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
Get more done.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be a smart aleck like that.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
TGI Fridays on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith now has meal deals starting at $9.99, which includes an entree, side, and fountain drink. Try their delicious 6-ounce sirloin served with seasoned fries for $15.99. The Bacon Ranch Chicken Sandwich with seasoned fries, $11.99. Chicken Caesar Salad for $10.99 and more. Their meal deals also include tasty chicken fettuccine Alfredo served with garlic breadsticks for $12.99 and a cheeseburger with seasoned fries for only $9.99. TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
I do this not just for me, but for all the people my age. I've never personally ordered anything on an app. Would you be using our app today? Well, no, I'm at the drive-thru.
That guy doesn't like us to ask if he's using the app again.
There's that dumb guy again.
That guy sounds like the voice of the Razorbacks.
He's an idiot.
What a jerk.
What an idiot.
Hunter Yurachek opens his email. Hey, man, your voice of the Razorbacks is a real jerk. Every time I just ask him if he wants to use the app, he talks to me like I'm an idiot.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Hogs turned it on in the second half last night. Scored 91 points, blew away Pacific. 7 guys played. And everybody's talking about crowd size this morning.
Lack thereof.
They were talking about it last night.
Lack thereof.
If you're a social media person, and I know everyone in this room is, it was that's what everyone, and as is always the case, the tweets, whatever your form is, it's always somebody saying, "Look how bad the crowd is," and it's like, "Well, are you there?" Well, no, but it really looks bad on TV.
91-72, the final.
Yeah.
If you're scoring at home, because obviously everyone was. They weren't at the game. Adu Thero, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 4 steals.
He's really good.
He's on a tear. And Boogie Flans had double figures every game so far this season. But, yeah, the crowd on a Monday night, I don't know what people really expected. I think Cal is trying to figure this out. Because at Kentucky, and you can come up with all kinds of reasons why, like, there's nothing else to do or whatever. But in Kentucky, people come to every game. In fact, the reason the SEC tournament has so many Kentucky fans is because a lot of those fans can't get tickets to the game, so they go to the SEC tournament.
It's the only Kentucky games they go to.
It's the only ones they can get to.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like Kentucky, it's every seat, every game, just about. I mean, there's some exceptions, obviously, but there's never a moment where you're like, gee, where is everybody at Kentucky. At least that's my understanding.
It's true. It's true.
And so I think Cal's looking around trying to figure out what's happening here. And for example, Chuck, you described this to me. I had no idea that Cal, after Kentucky games, would come out to do the radio postgame show. So Chuck always interviews the head coach after the game. Every broadcast pretty much does this, the home broadcast. So Cal would come out, and you can tell the story better than I can, Chuck, about sort of the pomp and circumstance and the show around like people stay after the game, like a few thousand people.
There would be 3,000 or 4,000 people there. You could literally, when you're the opposing radio guy, usually you're right in front of the students or you're right in front of a really rowdy group of people. And so you can literally feel them behind you, even though you don't look around and see them. You can feel them. And you can feel those people after the game. And, Cal would do 3 segments. They did it 10, 12 years, and we'd go, and I'd always come back and go, man, we got to figure out a way to do this. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And you got a coach that just loves doing it. And so we got to figure out a way. Well, it never happened until Cal became the coach here. And now now he's doing it like he did there. I think it's great. The thing that I like about it is, and the thing that I think it does makes it enticing for the fans who stay, is he talks to them. I mean, he looks at them. He talks to them. I think he actually said good night, when he was done last night, So, and signs basketballs, and I think enjoys, flipping them back into the crowd and all that. And so I hope people will stay after the games. It's a little bit different. Now, look, I understand. There have been times over the years when it was like, hey, we're glad you came, but we'll be even happier when you're gone. And that's the impression sometimes that, and I hate to say it.
You mean getting people out of the stands?
Getting people out of the building.
Yeah.
And sometimes it got a little too much, just to be honest. But now it's the exact opposite. It's like everybody stay. And so, but he likes doing it. And I think it's something over time that'll grow.
There's a big difference between how Arkansas has treated games and how Kentucky has treated games. And I see Cal last night on this video on Hogs Plus talking to, I don't know how many people, but it didn't feel like a lot because there weren't a lot at the game. And I think he's still trying to figure out, like, wait a second, I know there's this great fan base here, but why are they not at the games? And here's what he said on the post-game show last night.
Thank you all for being in the rain and coming to this game. And I'm going to say this for everybody listening. If you have tickets and you're not going to use them, I guess you could go online and give them to the university.
Absolutely.
They'll give them away. Or even better yet, give them to your neighbor. Here, do you want to go to an Arkansas game? Think about the Kansas game, what that game was like, because 50% of the building were people who could never get in the building. And it was made their month being able to be in there and enjoy that. So don't sit on tickets. Either give them away or we'll give them away because, this environment is so good. Now, I'm going to tell you, anybody that came here today in that weather, crazy. And I appreciate you.
You didn't need season tickets to go to the Kansas exhibition game is what he's referring to. So it would be, and I think, he wasn't really going here, but what he's also saying is if every game was you just get tickets to that game, maybe the crowds would be bigger, but you got all these people with season tickets that don't go on a Monday or a Wednesday or whatever against a no-name opponent like Pacific. And so he's saying, hey, give the tickets away if you have them and you're not going to use them. Chuck, I understand why some people don't go to games on a Monday night. Like I was at a junior high basketball game because my daughter's a cheerleader. She's like, hey, Dad, will you come to this game? I'm watching a 7th and 8th grade game last night while the Hogs are playing 10 minutes, 15 minutes from where I am. But I get this. I understand that, and this is a lot of families, a lot of parents that live in close proximity to Bud Walton Arena. And then the people who don't, they got to get up Tuesday and go to work. So what do you do about this?
Well, Monday nights are tough. And for a lot of the reasons you just articulated there. I mean, real life intervenes. You got kids, it's a junior high basketball night. There were games you talked about. There were games all over the state last night, not just in the backyard here, but all over Arkansas. And Monday nights are tough. And the weather in Fayetteville yesterday, the rest of the state experienced it last night. But in the afternoon in Fayetteville, I mean, it poured. And the wind was howling, and then after it stopped, the temperature dropped about 15 degrees, and the wind was blowing. And I understand why people decided maybe I'm just not going to go. Here's the thing that, and it's a bigger picture. It's not just last night, and it's not just basketball. Somehow, some way, and I grew up here, and so this is how I got to go to a lot of the games, very honestly, when I was growing up. People who had season tickets gave them to us. Gave them to my mother, and we went to the games. And there are lots of situations like that in Arkansas, and somehow we've gotten away from that. Tickets are expensive, and I know people who buy season tickets spend a lot of money on them. But somehow we have this idea that, well, I'm going to buy season tickets, and then I'll sell the ones that I can't go to, and I'll get some of my money back. I've already seen ads for the Louisiana Tech game on social media trying to sell tickets. $75, $100 a pop. I'll throw in a parking pass. Are you kidding me? Do you really think somebody's going to pay you $100 right now on Monday or Tuesday for a ticket that on Friday or Saturday they might pick up for $20 max? Do you really think somebody's going to do that? Go ahead and use your brain. Set aside your hopeful greed just for a moment and understand that you're not going to get your money back. But here's the thing. If you weren't hacked off, you'd be going anyway. You've already spent the money. Give them away. I promise you, whoever you give them to will call you and thank you, and you will feel good about yourself. Even though it might just last for a few minutes, you'll feel good about yourself. And too many people want to recoup the money that they've already spent, and they're just dumb because they think they're going to be able to pull it off. And then Thursday or Friday rolls around, nobody's bitten, and so they end up not doing anything. They end up just throwing them in the trash.
Bart, what is your... you got your hand up like you're on
I'm
a Zoom.
sorry.
No, he's like a Zoom.
No,
I do the same thing.
I gotta weigh in.
The get in the door price for the football game on Saturday is $7.
Yeah.
On StubHub or SeatGeek.
And some guys,
you can get tickets
yeah.
in the lower bowl, like 30-yard line, for $15 right now.
Yeah. And look,
you ain't getting $100 for tickets. I don't care. I don't care.
Here's
where
my
they are.
question: if you've got the tickets and you're selling them online for $15, why not just walk down the street and give them to a neighbor? Take the, what is $15 that big a deal to you?
A couple.
I mean, come on.
Couple things. I will say, I agree with everything you said, and something about free excites all of us. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care if you're a billionaire. You get something for free. You get a gift. It sort of excites you, and it may not be anywhere close to something nice you have, but it's a gesture, and this sounds maybe a little weird. It gives energy to
absolutely
the person getting it.
Absolutely.
You're like, oh, that's like it. Just if I bring you something and you have everything and you need nothing, you're just like, it could be a donut, and you're like, just man, somebody thought of me. It's like we should start an account that's tickets and pictures. Give tickets, get a picture back of the dad and his two kids that took a picture at the game, and it's the first game they've ever been to or the fifth game they've ever been to. But it's a moment they weren't expecting to have. Now, the other side of this, the reality side of this, is giving tickets away can sometimes be challenging.
Yes.
Because it takes time.
It's right.
It
That's
takes
exactly
time.
Right.
But what I would ask you is, when we all sit around and we go, you know what I got to do? I got to sign up, and I got to go hand out free turkeys for Thanksgiving. I got to do something good this year. And that's great. But that's also a lot of work to try to figure it out. Who do I go to unless you're already just plugged into some system? Sometimes being nice and giving back is not as difficult as we make it out to be, or seemingly difficult. Like love the people that ring the bell for the Salvation Army and stand outside, sometimes in bad weather, sometimes in the cold. And it's really, it's about the money they raise, but it's also more of just a symbol about doing something that's not just for me.
Well,
and it's not that difficult. Take 15, give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, if you take your 10 minutes or your 15 minutes or hand it off to somebody else that works with you that can handle it, give it a shot. And then literally just ask them, hey, will you just send me a picture back? Whoever takes the take, just send me a picture back of you with the game.
Well, I just think that we are all hung up on cost and things like that, how much it costs to go, and all the things like that. And people do talk about that. I'm saying throw that out the window. I'm saying stop considering that. You've already paid for the tickets. The idea that the $50 or $60 that you're going to get back is going to be the difference between making your mortgage payment this month or not. It's ridiculous. So find somebody that doesn't get to go. Find somebody that and it might take 5 or 10 minutes to figure it out. Call your school, call the Boys and Girls Clubs, call your church, call a church secretary. She'll find somebody. Seriously. I'm talking to people in small towns right now. Yeah. They know what I'm talking about.
Look, we've never, in the history of having a social media account, I've never tried to give tickets away that they didn't go like that.
Exactly.
And they're so easy to transfer now. You can just send them. Like you don't have to go meet behind the Circle K or the Casey's or the church parking lot or the Walmart on MLK. You don't have to drive anywhere. You don't have to do it. Like just
how are we going to get the tickets?
Yeah.
Where are we going to meet? Well, let's meet over by Hardee's.
Yeah.
What do you say?
And this isn't even like we're on the holidays are here. Like it's time to give back. We're not on an even. This isn't even a fill the stadium crusade conversation.
No.
This is
just be a decent person.
No, this is just like, here's the point, okay, just to wrap it up. The point is this. Sometimes we don't realize how a simple gesture can be such a big deal for somebody else. That's all it is. That's the conversation. Like, it's just sometimes, unfortunately, we live in a world where we just get criticized a lot. Everybody does. And sometimes we just don't think about things. It doesn't make you a bad person. You just don't think about things. And so we need I'm sometimes glad that it'll be pointed out to me. Like whatever the topic is, I hadn't thought of it for whatever reason. Everybody's got their own stuff going on. So we're just calling attention to it. But a simple gesture like that could be a big deal for someone else. I mean, if you don't feel good now, if your heart's not just full, this is just a wonderful way to start a Tuesday.
It's a very special Chuck and Bo show.
I mean, I got my eyes that are a little, I got a little tear. Bert, what can I do for you today? You know what? During the break,
get carried away. We're talking about basketball tickets. Let's not try to change each other's lives or anything like that.
I'm going to get you a donut hole. Just one. 877-377-6963. That's how we start today. But we got a lot to get into. We got billboard updates. I got some information.
Oh, you got to the bottom of that.
Yeah, did some investigative work.
Yeah, this is good. It needs to be said.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next on the Chuck and Bo Show, 619. Good morning.
Chuck and Bo, it's always an honor and pleasure to be with you. You know I don't do a lot of these in the course of my season.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. And that's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to gopascal.com and don't worry about hot water anymore.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original Sports Rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
We were doing everything right. We were moving the ball. We had it. We booped. Wide open, miss. Another one here, missed. I was ready to strangle myself. Like, come on.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based scram
He means
things.
the website, which is shop on Razorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
November is the month for thankfulness, and all of us here at Crabtree RV Center in Alma are thankful for our loyal customers who voted us the best of the River Valley and the best of the best in 2024. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years. November is the month for thankfulness, and all of us here at Crabtree RV Center in Alma are thankful for our loyal customers who voted us the best of the River Valley and the best of the best in 2024. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Chuck and I didn't talk for 4 years.
That's right.
And I was trying to find his email, and sure enough, it was there.
Last text I sent to Bo like 5 years
Right
ago.
before COVID.
Popped up.
Right before COVID. We didn't even check on each other after COVID.
It said, "Don't call me ever again," but I ignored that. I ignored that and called him back.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Yeah, so I looked into the billboard thing.
Yeah, let's get to the bottom of this. This is fine work. By the way.
Here's the thing. When you see something like that, it creates a reaction, and it went viral. People talking about it, saying even that this shouldn't have happened. Every time you comment on it, every time you repost it and make your own comment, that's called going viral. It's going to spread. And so now everybody's talking about it and seeing it. So what does it really mean? And there were a lot of people asking, like, well, as somebody important, somebody that can afford this billboard, as if it cost like $1 million. It cost about $700 to have it up for a week. And I don't know if this had anything to do with us, and I don't know who got the billboard, but apparently whoever did, on behalf of whomever, called in yesterday about the time our show was on, right? Maybe when we said, hey, put your name on it, and wanted to make sure their name wasn't on the account.
Ah, that's awesome.
So the anonymity of this whole thing is alive and well. But at $700, that costs slightly more than it does to call this radio show and give an opinion. So I don't think anybody with juice really had anything to do with the billboard. And by the way, people with real juice don't put up billboards. Fans who feel like they're not being heard or want to say something because they don't have a platform, like nobody's following them on social media, so they can't really get the word out. So when you go post that on Twitter, nobody's going to really run with it. But if you can get a billboard and you can get Bart and Edward and 3 more friends to pitch in, we're all in there for, $100 or so. Let's put up a billboard and then we're going to laugh about it. Then we're going to talk to our buddies about it. It means literally nothing other than you're an idiot. Because that's not how to get anything done. That's not how to handle things. My personal opinion. And I don't know who the idiot is, so it can't be personal, right? So because you're anonymous. So I don't even know who I'm talking to. So I'm clearly not talking to you. I'm just talking to the big black hole out there of nothingness that put up a billboard that helps nothing, that changes nothing. It only can create an environment. This is my point, and then I'll shut up. It only creates an environment where a recruit goes, why the heck would I go there? Look, those fans are nuts. Why would I? And if you don't think that happens, if you think it doesn't affect recruiting, you're wrong. Talk to any coach. Not here, anywhere.
Yeah, it's always interesting when this happens because it takes on a life of its own on social media, and all the posts make it sound like Arkansas fans, as though every fan in the state threw in a buck so they could buy that billboard.
Right.
Like every Arkansas fan out there is just making certain that the world knows about that billboard. Billboards are low-hanging fruit. They're like planes. All you need is 2 eyes. You don't have to have really, a double-digit IQ to understand it. It's low-hanging fruit. It is something that social media always runs with. But here's the bottom line. Everything that's happened, everything that's been written the last 24, 48 hours about Sam Pittman's future at Arkansas, it's all been sparked by that billboard. The one thing that $700 does do is change the narrative for the outside world looking in. Nothing's changed on the inside. I can tell you absolutely nothing has changed on the inside by virtue of that billboard. I think the situation's exactly what it was before. I think Sam Pittman's going to be the football coach next year. And I've been around here long enough to know if you lose to Louisiana Tech, all bets are off. I know that. But minus that, he's going to be the football coach next year unless he decides he doesn't want to be.
Yeah, there's nothing hanging in the balance here
No.
other than what you just described.
No, it's just the truth.
Which, if that did happen, then that should be on the table.
Well, look, I know what happens
can't
when
have
you
that
lose
happen.
games like that. I know. Everything changes, and all bets are off. But absent that, this is much ado about nothing.
I can't get over the $700 aspect of this. Like, somebody paid $700 to put that on a billboard. I've got a better idea for what you should do with your money. Just give it to me. We're talking about giving tickets away. Just give it to me.
Bart,
I'll put it on Kansas +3 or whatever if you want to.
Give it to Bart's Locks.
That's right.
Donate it to the cause.
So I was
Here's my
considering,
Venmo.
I think we're going to put a billboard to start as soon as this one ends that says, remember what was up here last, save some money, and just call the Chuck and Bo Show.
Like
We should
seriously,
definitely do
I
that.
cannot get, I can't get over it.
For the message that was up here before this one, just call the Chuck and Bo Show.
It's free.
Save $700.
Like, look, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do with their own money, but there's got to be a million things that come to mind for me first before, I'm going to put a message on a billboard.
JR's in Shady Grove. Good morning, JR.
Morning, guys. How y'all?
Doing okay. How are you?
Good. Couple questions. Louisiana Tech scouting report, and does Arkansas have to issue the injury report this week since this is a non-con game?
No, they do not. They do not have to do that. It's only conference ball games. Louisiana Tech's gonna. I mean, they're wide open. They have really struggled to score. I mean, you look at the scores of their games. There's 9-3s and 12-7s, and I mean, there's game. No, I mean, I'm serious. Look at their scores.
I know.
And they've struggled to score, but similar, I would guess, maybe to what UAB tried to do. UAB ran the ball more against Arkansas, but they kind of spread it out a little bit, and so I would expect Louisiana Tech to do exactly what they've done. I mean, they're going to try to throw it around, and but they really struggle to run the ball. I think I read where they average about 1.5 yards a rush. So they got some growing pains. But now defensively, they've been good, and so that's something to think about too.
Can I ask you one question about the Missouri game while I got you on the line?
Well, I guess so.
What's at stake for Missouri? I mean, who do they play, and then is that game with Arkansas going to be something that's going to be something for them to really, play for? I mean, as far as bowl or playoff or whatever.
They're at Mississippi State this Saturday.
That's that's a good question. They're not going to be in the playoff, but they've owned this series of late. I mean, let's just be honest. They've owned it. Arkansas's never won up there. So it's not like that, they've been playing for the national championship in the years before. They've just won the game. So it's going to be a little different for them, I'm sure. But I would imagine that, they'll find a way to get ready to go.
It'll be senior day. They'll have a big bowl game at
Well,
stake.
I think one thing that there's sometimes there's a connection lost between those who watch and those who participate. When you participate, it's always a big game because if it's not, you're going to get hurt. I mean, it's always a big game when you play. Now, as a fan, your team may be out of it or you may have given up back in October, but that doesn't mean the participants on the field feel that way. It just means you feel that way. So there's not always a correlation between how you feel and how they feel.
It's always a question of motivation. Who's going to be more motivated? It plays a role. It's not the only.
It plays a role, but it's not the end-all, be-all.
But I don't think, looking at it from a Missouri perspective, I don't believe they'll lack motivation. I promise you, Eli Drinkowitz will have a few things to say about Arkansas in that locker room that week.
Sure he will.
That'll have those guys thinking that everybody in Arkansas is the devil, and that they got to go out and win, or the devil wins.
Our guys will have some things to say about them, too.
Tell me I'm wrong. You think I'm wrong? You think I'm wrong about that?
No, I think you're sadly correct.
Okay, all right. Just making sure we're on the same page. Yeah, that game's going to be 2:30 on the SEC network.
That's right.
And this game on Saturday,
not on Friday.
Right,
Saturday.
right.
Saturday.
That's going to be. That's going to throw some people off like a full moon.
Hey,
this out of whack.
If this thing's going to work, Arkansas has got to beat these guys. You go from national game on CBS on Friday to SEC Network in the middle of the afternoon on Saturday. That tells you right there that one side's not winning enough. And so if this thing's going to catch, both sides have got to win. Otherwise, you don't want to lose to those guys every time.
That's a big game. That's a big game.
Well, just because it's not a big game, like a Texas or an LSU or some of the other games,
look,
it'd be nice to win that game. I'll just put it that way.
You got to beat teams that you're going to be fairly evenly matched up against. And Arkansas won't be the favorite, but that's a big game to win. If they win this week and they win that game, the feeling around the program changes, I think, dramatically.
Particularly if you win your bowl game. Particularly if you win your bowl game there.
877-377-6963. If you want to jump in here, text, call the show. We had a light crowd at the basketball game. Anything can be done about that besides giving your tickets away? Are these midweek games going to get better? What are your – because people have
midweek games will get better.
On
Midweek
social
games
media,
will get better.
They said, you guys got to talk about this. Like,
Well-
what is the problem? What are your thoughts? And I don't I think that's a little bit of an overreaction. But I think Cal is also like, hey, what's going on here? I'm not used to this.
Well, I don't know that anywhere except maybe Kentucky basketball, frankly, that you can throw open the doors on Monday night after a big day of rain and say, come on in and let's fill the house. I mean, look, Rupp's got 20,000 seats in there. And, man, I've been in there when every one of them was full, and it seemed like there were 2 people in every seat. But I'm sure there are also some nights where maybe it's not jam-packed like that. I'll just put it that way.
Bart just alerted me. He's got a point to make when we come back from
All
the
right,
break.
good.
He put his hand up. We're brought to you in part by the Sweatnum Edge. Guys, if you don't have the energy you want, health, confidence, peak performance all come together with the Sweatnum Edge. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, maybe skin issues. The good news is you can do something about it. Get a free evaluation, see where you are, and it's just like kind of a coach putting together a game plan. They'll help you put one together, and then you can decide what you want to do or not do. But it's a free evaluation. Go to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, well, congratulations, Coach. I made some good calls today. You sure did. You sure did.
When it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, handpicked for their quality and beauty. They don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you on every step of the way. Whether you're planning a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or simply treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, I'm Taylor Green, Arkansas QB, and these two guys definitely have a face for radio.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
The best things never change, they just get better. Like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Choose from juicy charbroiled double cheeseburgers, melty hot ham and cheeses, or hand-breaded chicken tender wraps. 2 full-size favorites plus fries and a drink, all just $6.99. There's no skimping in this bag. No junior burgers or tiny nuggies, just full-size goodness for big-time value. The $6.99 Original Bag, only at Hardee's. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Here with Grant Neal, General Manager at Rhodes Chevrolet. Grant, it looks like your quality and quantity of pre-owns just keeps getting better.
Yeah, it's really getting a lot better, and the reason is because we're selling more new cars. More new inventories rolling in, and with that, we get better trade-ins, which are the highest quality used cars we get. They're all going through our shop, getting a high-quality inspection from our certified technicians, making sure that everything works and it stops, starts, and steers safely, because we want everything out on the lot to be at a high quality. But we have something for everybody, whether you're looking for a cheap set of wheels just to get around, or you need a new primary car for the family, a new truck for work, whatever it is, I promise we're going to have something for you on our pre-owned lot.
What if someone needs financing or doesn't have the best credit? Can you help them?
Absolutely. Our finance director, Robert Good, is an expert at working with the banks. We've had people who said that they'll never be able to buy a car, drive out of here in a brand new set of wheels. And as we know, the Fed just did another cut in rates, so it's only going to get better as the year goes on.
2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren. It's Rhodes Chevrolet, where we make car buying great again.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, A Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, A Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's A Cut Above, 719-5605.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Hey, Hog fans, it's Zach with the Ruskin and Zach Show. Join me this Saturday, November the 23rd, from 10 to noon at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville for ESPN Arkansas's Game Day pregame show. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt at the Stadium Shop will have a buy one regular priced clothing item, get a second equal or lesser value, half off, including their new Nike apparel and jerseys. With the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole, it does not get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. ESPN Arkansas Game Day show live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback this Saturday from 10 to noon.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I was 6 years old. We played with a legendary quarterback, Joe fucking Ferguson. 31-7. We sent him back to Austin.
I thought he went all the way.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was a check swing. I didn't think it was a check swing. I thought he went around.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bart's raised his hand 2 or 3 times during the break.
It's like an audible. It's like
I know.
he's the quarterback.
I know.
We signaled in the play, and he went, nope.
Yeah,
I
that's right.
got one.
Yeah, so let's do this. And Mark go, no, I got a point.
We called for 2 running backs. Why do I only see 1?
Well, I feel like there are a couple things
You need to clear up.
Well, no, just about the basketball game that maybe we haven't really talked about. I mean, like, Monday's just a bad day to have a basketball game, like especially during football season. And one of the reasons is because of Monday Night Football and the fact that the Dallas Cowboys were playing Monday Night Football.
That didn't have
last
anything
night.
to do with it.
Sure it did.
That didn't have anything to do with it. That's insane. The Cowboys are terrible.
Caving in on the Cowboys.
Right, but I mean, diehards are diehards, Chuck.
Nobody. I don't know anyone who
If there wasn't a Razorback basketball game last night, would you have been watching Monday Night Football?
Probably not, if you want to know the truth.
Well, that's just out of boredom.
No, yeah, I mean,
because he made special plans.
The Cowboys playing the Texans on TV didn't have anything to do with the crowd last night. I got to call BS on that part. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I think it's a real thing.
I understand.
If the Cowboys were good, if they were like 9-1 or something instead of like 0-30,
it's a convenient excuse to not have to go to the basketball game.
I'm going to change the whole argument for you. Okay, here's the bottom line. Okay, you really want to get down to this?
Let's
Chuck would
get to
say
the
back
bottom
in the
line.
sports rap days, you want to boil it down to brass tacks.
Sure,
it's about the opponent.
100%.
Of course,
that's what my next point
but we
was
all
gonna
have
be.
That's
to
a
make,
good point.
We all
That's a
have to
good
make
point,
priority. We all have to make a priority decisions, right? So you better have a good reason to miss your kid's game, and that's called Duke.
Yeah.
That's called the Duke game.
Look.
right.
I had to go to the Duke game.
Pacific.
I'm sorry I missed your 7th grade I had to go to the Duke game.
With all due respect to Pacific, and they shot the lights out in the first half of the game last night. That will be the worst or one of the 1 or 2 worst teams that Arkansas will play all year. That is a very bad basketball team. And really, you can say Arkansas should have won by more, but Pacific shot the lights out in the first half. But that brings me to another point, which is just, and I'm sorry, this home basketball non-conference schedule is bad.
Yeah.
All the good games are neutral site games. And I understand that there's a reason for doing that, but if you expect people to get excited to come watch the team play some of the worst teams in college basketball, that's not going to happen.
See, now you're getting into this area.
You get into the value.
Here's the area. No, here. So we've all made, I think, points that are fair and they're accurate. But here's the area that I'm going to venture into, as I sometimes do. If you want to be a big-time college basketball program, be a big-time college basketball fan base.
That's right.
And we loved it. I'll tell you what I love about our state. I'm the same way. We want everything to be right. We don't always want to do it ourselves. We want everything to be a certain way, but we don't all want to do it ourselves. And we want to sit around and gripe about it, but what are we really going to do about it?
That's right.
Like at Kentucky, for whatever reason, they're all there. They play junior high basketball too. They have other things going on too. I know you don't agree, but they do have like bourbon. You know, they take a bourbon tour up there.
They've
they
also
got stuff to do.
Lexington's
I'd rather
also
do
a
that
major
than go to
city
basketball.
too.
It
though.
is.
Lexington's
That's true.
a city.
It's more people.
And I
near
realize that
the arena.
Northwest Arkansas is a big area
great
too.
point.
But Lexington's a legitimate
It takes
city.
you got to travel to
Right.
fill our arena.
Right, and
Lexington has
there are
320,000 people.
Yeah.
And that's just
Fayetteville
Lexington
has
proper.
75.
Well, that's just Lexington proper, too. You're not really into the metropolitan areas. And the NWA metro's bigger, but so's the Lexington metro.
Keep talking.
Over 500,000
What?
people.
Keep spitting out those
Oh, I know.
geography terms.
Well, I know. Yeah. I can't help it. I'm sorry.
It's so good. It's so good. And by the way, all those people in that, what was it called? Not the metro, but something.
Lexington
The
proper.
Lexington proper. All those people have lived there their whole lives. People in Northwest Arkansas, a lot of people moved in, from Cincinnati and stuff. They work at like P&G. But these Lexington proper people, they've been Kentucky fans their whole life. That's why they're there. Okay? It's true. I mean, it's fact.
Yeah.
It's fact. They don't work at Walmart. They didn't come there from somewhere else.
No, it's true.
They've lived there their whole life.
That's exactly right.
Everybody grew up a Kentucky fan. Season tickets have been in their family for generations.
I was going to go down this whole rabbit hole of let's get rid of neutral site games just in general in football and basketball.
I don't agree with that.
But that was
fun.
more entertaining.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a break, and then we'll take Eddie's call. Apparently, Eddie wants to. He's got things to say today, and I don't know if it involves the Razorbacks, so that'll be
Going to
interesting.
talk about America's team.
646 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there ain't but one Razorback. Number one.
You know the sound, you know the place, and you know the time of year that means live racing at Oaklawn is coming. If your Oaklawn is playing favorites, letting it ride on long shots, or just soaking up the vibes of race day, it's time to make your plans and discover your Oaklawn. Live racing starts Friday, December 6th. Reserve seats, rooms in our hotel, or a spot in your favorite Oaklawn restaurant at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list, a craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013, with popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA. There's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Scion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. And that's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to gopascal.com and don't worry about hot water anymore.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith. Aaron, what's going on this month?
We have new Polaris units on our lot, such as the Ranger XD 1500, the Sportsman 6x6, and the Razor Pro S. We have discounts here for the 2024 Polarises that have up to $6,000 off the original price. If you guys have any questions, call me or text me at 479-783-5822.
Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The nation's best home court advantage lives inside Bud Walton Arena. The Razorbacks are back inside the Basketball Palace of Mid-America, and Coach John Calipari and the Hogs need you there and need you loud all season long. If you have tickets, make sure they're being used. If you need tickets, head over to SeatGeek.com. SeatGeek, that's the official resale marketplace of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Hey, Ty Richardson for JamMart. JamMart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. JamMart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero JamMart locations. And stop by any of the 6 JamMart locations in the area. JamMart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I want people to think about me when I'm gone. Who the
Oh, well, now I think I know what was said there. Chuck thought Eddie said it, and then Mike Tyson really did.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Fast Eddie. Watched the Cowboys play last night. Eddie in Clarksville, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, this great passionate fan base. You know, many may not know, I'm a very passionate Dallas Cowboys fan. And after the game, you know, it's hard, you know, I grew up with legends of the game. You know, once this franchise was labeled America's team, not so much anymore. Let me say this, Jerry Jones, you're one of the wealthiest people in all the world. Your wealth as well. I wish you'd just sell the team, sir. I mean, what to see the state of the program today, I mean, I literally cried. I mean, I grew up with Roger Staubach and, you know, the epic games against the Steelers with Terry Bradshaw. Of course, Terry had Lynn Swann. Of course, Roger Staubach had Golden Richardson. And when you talk about all the players that have come through the storied program, when you put on that star and you stepped out on that field, and then you talk about the run in the 90s with Troy Aikman, and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin with Jimmy Johnson, and look at the state of the franchise today, sir. How do you get to that point? It's decisions making, sir. It's leadership. and you're not showing leadership, sir,
Thanksgiving.
I'm telling you what, just sell the team. I mean, because I wish you just do that, sir, because it's really hard, for Cowboys fans that grew up passionate, watching this team over the decades to see. But I don't think they'll win another game this year. I just don't see it.
They may not.
I realize you've had injury. No excuses. You talk about decision makings in the front office up there on players. What I mean? What a shame. I mean, and sometimes I feel like, sir, even I bleed Dallas Blue. I bleed Hog Red. And let me tell you this, it's decision making too. You either degree at the U of A since Frank Broyles died. That's a fact. Let me tell you something. Our program is better than what it is. And it starts with leadership, and some of that's been lost. And so I have a dream, and sometimes I don't think the Cowboys will ever get back. I'll be 60 in January. And then sometimes I feel like my Cowboys will never be in a playoff game or a Super Bowl again. And sometimes I feel like, under the format now of college football landscape, you get a 10-win season, you'll be in there competing for a national championship. And that's attainable under the right coaching and leadership at the U of A. Houston Nutt proved that. I tell you what, so did Bobby Petrino. You can win at the U of A. That's a fact. You just got to recruit better. You got to build a bench around this state. You got to, start with your in-state kids. And number two, we're not going to Texas. That was a recipe under Frank Broyles. He went to Texas always and got players. And we're not recruiting them. And we're not keeping our in-state kids at home. And that has to change. I tell you what, if you don't expect better, you won't get better. And as much as I like Sam Pittman, I love my program too. And I want them to compete on the highest level. And when you quit competing on the highest level, certainly all has been lost. And let me say this, you may think this
Say
thing's
it quick.
a big struggle.
We got to go, Eddie.
Eddie in Clarksville show.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Know what else makes you an Arkansas Razorback fan? Going to the University of Arkansas. How about playing football for the team?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine, a high this afternoon in the upper 60s to low 70s. Clear skies, upper 30s to low 40s overnight, and then sunny and cooler for Wednesday, a high in the middle to upper 50s. We're going to hang on to the mid to upper 50s again Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
You never know what you will walk up on or find over the hill at the Tackle Box. For almost 50 years, the Tackle Box has been your home for hunting and fishing supplies and some of the best outdoor stories. Whether guns, ammo, fishing supplies, or home decor, come back and see them again. They even buy your old fishing tackle or guns. The Tackle Box, your sports store for hunting, fishing, firearms, and more. 3010 Street, Fort Smith, 646-3193.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Touchdown, Arkansas! How did he get that wide open?
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth, and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
What latte did you get?
This is a...
I'm dying to know.
This is a gingerbread latte with oat milk.
Good God.
I knew.
Good God. I mean, really.
I knew that was coming.
Bart comes out of Starbucks and accidentally gets into a minivan. He's like, I don't know what took over me, but I definitely should be in this minivan. Where are the kids? Did somebody leave them at soccer practice?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
No good deed goes unpunished.
No, not around here.
We forgot that the whole reason Bart went was to get you coffee, and then we just made a segment out
That's
of
right.
what he was drinking.
I love Bart.
What he ordered.
Bart is a servant. I mean,
I'll
he's
tell
a
ya.
servant leader. I mean, he is.
He is. I shut that down. I used to get Bart coffee, and then I couldn't say his orders out loud without laughing and driving.
Well, you know, you always order, and then you go, that's not for me. Just so we're clear, it's not mine.
That's right. The pumpkin spice latte was the side eye I got.
That's
You know,
right.
it was interesting. But I've never, Chuck, have you ever had oat milk?
No. Not to my knowledge.
What is it? Does it have oats in
Oat
it?
milk?
Like actual oats?
Can you taste
Is it
the oats?
milk from the oat? Do you like squeeze milk out of an
Or
oat?
is it just milk over oats?
Yeah, that's what happens. How does that work? Tell me more.
I thought he said goat milk at
if
first.
you're near
but
a
it's
Starbucks today,
oat milk.
Hey, would you like me to? Would you like me to go get you
in
an
a
oat
second,
milk drink?
Either you can do this, or anybody listening, it'd be a great favor to me if you could pull into a Starbucks drive-through, call the show before you get up there. I want to hear you ask them what oat milk is. Like, I want
mean,
to
why do
hear
you
it
order
over
oat
the
milk?
speaker.
Does it taste great? Is it healthy? Is it bougie? I mean, why do you do it?
It's healthier.
Really?
Like, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No, it is.
In what way?
It's not
It is,
dairy.
Bo.
Oh, almond milk.
lot of
isn't
lot
dairy?
of lot of vitamins. calcium,
Get that
protein.
with
Again, where does it come from?
It's
It's a
plant-based.
derivative of.
Oats. Do you have that with your
Come on.
egg white breakfast bowl? You know?
Well, that's
quinoa.
That's
and all
healthy.
that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you get the cholesterol out with the egg whites. I get that. You don't get any protein.
And it's amazing. The taste oftentimes goes with it. You know, it's incredible how that
I'm,
works.
I'm gonna go to Starbucks and get y'all an oat milk drink. And
Hey,
you
listen,
can-
I'll try it. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm probably not.
It sounded like it sounded like something that like a mixologist would make.
A mixologist.
Yeah, it sounds like a
God.
$26
Hey.
cocktail. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I'd
tastes
give
good.
I'd give it a shot.
Tastes good.
Charlie's in Camden. Charlie, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show. What's happening?
Well, Bo, I would do this for you, but we don't have such a place down here.
You don't have a Starbucks.
There's no such thing. I would definitely go in the drive-through and pull this off for you, but it just doesn't exist. You guys are talking about all these amazing coffees. How about just black coffee?
Ma'am, with
Straight up black.
that's
drinking
exactly
today.
right. Just
Oh.
regular old coffee.
No, I drink black coffee. Chuck drinks black coffee with equal in it.
That's right. I put a couple of equal in mine. But,
Look,
seriously, you go to a coffee store like the one Bart goes to, and you just say, hey, I'll have a regular coffee. They look at you like you're an idiot. Like, why are you even here?
No.
I mean, you're not bougie enough for
Yeah, you
us.
can go to McDonald's.
They're just like they look at you like, well, I'll just go punch myself in the face then because I'm a barista.
Yeah, whatever.
And I'm here for that. What
That's
are you,
right.
And you want a drip coffee?
That's right.
But the other thing is when you just try to get a drip coffee, you just want a regular black coffee. The three people in line in front of you have an order so exquisite 20 minutes
I
later.
hate those people. I hate
you
those
get
people.
to your coffee.
They're worse than people that cash lottery tickets. I mean, they're horrible people. Horrible people.
Or what about picking them? I'll have one of 19, and then I'll have one of 17, and then they're counting the dollars and quarters that they've got in a Ziploc bag to pay for it.
Can I just break in front?
No.
Right?
Get my black
Can I
coffee?
just get my coffee? Right.
Well, anyway, guys, I was loving Coach Cal after the game last night. Chuck, you get him after every game on the radio, right?
That's right.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I think every person that goes in there should just be prepared to answer questions because he's going to also interview you.
That's true.
And everyone, yeah, I mean, he and I don't think he means to like. It's like he'll throw in, "Oh, you guys paying attention? What did I talk about last game?" It's like he's got this. He wants everybody on the same page now. He wants the media knowing what's going on. What did I talk about last game? Oh, we didn't finish well. Well, we finished better tonight. You know, and I enjoy that. But, you know, he said something during the post-game, Chuck, that caught my eye. And you think about today's time and the kids in today's time, the mental aspect of dealing with these kids today, Cal seems to have a good aspect of it. It's like he's evolved with that. He talked about Adu and then coaching his dad, and then it was probably different coaching his pops than it is coaching his son, right? But maybe some similarities. But my point is, when DJ Wagner came in there and he talked to him and he said, you know, hey, you didn't score last game. I didn't sleep well because of that, right? Well, you know, Cal is the kind of guy, you know, he'll point out the players' mistakes, but he's really good at also holding himself accountable at the same time for when things don't go well for a player. And I guess we'll all have to get used to this a little bit, because even after a loss, he may be a little bit more frustrated, but we're getting interviewed too. So you guys are getting interviewed. Just going to tell you, but man, he has the pulse of this team, the main thing, and the mental part. And that's what this game, any sport, to be able to deal with some kids, like some kids, you got to put them in their place, right, Bo? And then some kids, you know, maybe you just need to pull them to the side and say, hey, son, I love you.
Yeah, it's
You're going
like
to be fine.
John Wooden said, some players need a pat on the back. Some of them need it a little bit lower and a little bit harder.
Yeah.
And that's
you guys have a good one.
Yeah, that's.
All right.
I mean, Cal does have the unique ability to be able to deal with guys that have massive. I'm not going to say massive egos, but massive basketball brands. They've been since the 5th grade told how great they are, and they're going to play in the NBA. And to go in and be able to deal with them and get them to respond to you and know they care about you, you got their future and their best in mind. I mean, that's something he's had a lot of success with. Here's what he did say about finishing after the game.
What was I angry about last game? You get up 12 and you give them a chance to come back and beat you? What? How'd we do late game today? Way better. Controlled the game, got the shot we wanted, worked the ball, shortened the game.
That's him talking post-game to Chuck, to fans that stick
He's really
around
talking
after
to the
game.
fans. I mean, he really was. We prompt him, basically, and then he talks to
So
the
he
fans.
does a thing. We talked about this in the first hour, but for fans who don't realize this, if you stay after the game, you can go down there kind of by the radio area,
Just
where
behind the
behind
bench
the
area.
bench,
Yeah.
and Cal sits there and basically does a private talk to the fans. It's on the radio, but it's to a live audience. Like he's standing there talking to them.
And I mean, he makes eye contact
new
with
thing.
the crowd, and they toss basketballs down. He signs them, tosses them back, and you know, they did this at Kentucky forever when he was there. I used to watch it and think, man, I wish we could do something like that. But Cal's the one that makes it work.
We got a text out of the 501 asking what our go-to gas station coffee is.
Like,
What's
which
yours? What's mine?
gas station?
Yeah. You know, here's the thing about gas station coffee. It's not like it used to be. There's not a pot in there and you go pour it. They have the machines now, fresh grind the beans, get you a fresh cup of come and go.
Well,
Casey's,
generally, yeah,
Circle
Casey's,
K.
Come and Go, Love's, you know, those are
Is
all.
that Jiffy Place now? Is that what's called Jiffy?
I don't know. I haven't
The
been
yellow
there.
sign? Yeah.
Jiffy
They got
Trip?
good. Yeah, they got good coffee. Everybody's got good coffee now. If you like black coffee, America's for you.
Well, the one thing that I will say about these new coffee machines,
Convenience
at
stores
the
are there.
convenience stores,
Yeah.
you know, with the buttons and things, you don't get the cup of coffee out of the pot that's been there since like 7 o'clock this morning.
Well, and you
It's
don't
like
have to judge.
4:30 in
You
the
don't have to
afternoon.
judge like
That's
when
right.
it was put out.
That's right.
The one thing I've learned though is like I like to leave a little bit of room so it's not full all the way to the top,
so it doesn't slosh.
Right, and so, but I don't put creamer in there. But I've learned like if you leave room for cream, I'm like, geez, how much cream do people put in there? You get like half a cup of coffee. So
Well,
what you got
that's
to
what
do
Bart does.
is
Bart,
you got to
half
get it.
coffee, half oat milk.
Hey, well, look, I need to address.
Do you
a
have
couple
your
of
own
things.
oat milk?
I need to.
Do you
address a
carry
couple of
oat milk like in a cooler?
Bart's
with you
got to
for,
answer
like,
back.
No,
Bart's
no,
ready
no,
to
no,
answer
no.
back.
So first of all, most days I just drink black coffee.
Yeah.
I just want to point that out.
So this is on special occasions.
But when you're feeling a little bougie. When you're feeling a little
Secondly,
bougie.
Text from Mike in Bentonville.
Okay, here we go.
If you drink oat
here we
milk,
go.
if you drink oat milk and you aren't lactose intolerant, you're a moron or a female.
Wow.
Well, Mike, look.
See, I wasn't going to read that one.
You, sir, are the moron. You're the moron, Mike.
Okay.
Because oat milk, let me tell you.
You people.
Let me tell you. Less fat, less saturated fat, less sugar, less cholesterol, and more calcium than regular milk. It
sounds
healthy.
good.
Sounds like he's leaning hard into the female side of this.
Give me some of that oat milk, man.
It's healthy.
Bart took the bait.
That's fine. That's fine. Look, I'm about bringing information to the people.
me and
and I'm
females,
bringing.
me and females have a lot in common. What's wrong with that?
Okay.
That's literally what you told him.
Well,
No, it's not. What the hell are you talking about?
The text said
It's
you're
what he
either a
was getting.
moron or a female, and Bart said I'm not a moron.
It's 7:14 on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Mike's an idiot.
The Chuck and Bo Show. I've been waiting to say this for 5 years. Sterling in Center Ridge.
This is quite the coup that they have put together. Bo and Chuck, this is a dream team.
Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brands, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. And that's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to gopascal.com and don't worry about hot water anymore.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original Sports Rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
A great pair. Really honored that you guys are doing this, listening over here in Jonesboro.
Get ready for the biggest sporting event of the year in the Arklahoma area. Modern Gun Deer Season 2024 and Jelco Outdoors has everything you need to have a great hunt. Hunting clothing and boots, rifles, ammo, tree stands, ground blinds, cover scents, feeders, knives, rangefinders, and everything you need for all the family to have a great deer season. Jelco wishes all the hunters good luck and safe hunting from your friends at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
'Tis the season for Hardee's handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch buttermilk biscuits pulled fresh from the oven. The return of special traditions like salty sweet candied bacon. And faithful friends like Hardee's cinnamon raisin biscuits gathered near to us and served all day, all season long. From icing drizzled biscuits to savory charbroiled burgers, unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. And now enjoy breakfast till noon. Available for limited time at participating locations. Items may vary.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adventure Dave will be attempting his greatest stunt yet. He will jump over 100 boats, ATVs, cars, and trucks, all at Adventure Oklahoma in Roland, brought to you by Auto Finders. Here he comes now. Adventure Dave, why did you choose Adventure Oklahoma for this stunt?
Well, Tom, Adventure Oklahoma is your one-stop shop for adventure. Plus, no one else would let me jump over their boats and ATVs.
Adventure Oklahoma by Auto Finders has it all. Brand new, used, that's right. CF Moto, Arctic Cat, and Segway side-by-sides and ATVs. All with a free 5-year warranty. Only offered by Adventure Oklahoma. Plus, G3 boats, Suncatcher pontoons, and Falcon bass boats. With delivery up to 100 miles away. The lowest priced pre-owned vehicles in the area. With 90 days to your first payment.
That's right. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a date with Destiny.
Yes, and what a jump it will be.
No, the jump is tomorrow. This is Destiny.
See y'all later.
Well, until then, visit Adventure Oklahoma in Roland. Brought to you by Auto Finders. AutoFindersOK.com.
Your journey starts here.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
We have one commercial break in the hour that is what we call, in the industry, a hard break. Meaning, in other words, it's going to fire.
Meaning it's not soft.
Yeah, whether it's not a soft break.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, I got to say something here. We got a bunch of knuckle-dragging people that are making fun of Bart. We make fun of Bart. He's family. Like, you can't come in here with too much
Nobody
of this.
talks
Like,
about Bart
hey,
that way
all you
except
guys
us.
that think you have a man card, you don't have one, or you'd have the guts to go try something. That's what Bart does. He tries something because he likes it. See, that's how the old-fashioned started. If you want to talk cocktails, but that makes you a man card because it's got whiskey in it. It's got bourbon. I feel you, Bart. You just like to experience things.
Hey, if you don't try stuff, you never know what you might be missing out
That's
on.
the thing. This is why some of these guys that are killing you on social media right now or on the text line, they don't have they're not man enough to try it. See, I'm going to get your back on this.
I appreciate that.
Not man enough to try it.
Do you think in their private moments they have maybe some oat milk?
I think if nobody's looking,
You think?
I think if nobody's around,
When nobody's around?
yeah,
Okay.
they're the ones that
Taking
gets
it-
like the
taking
French
it out
vanilla.
on
They hit
Bart
the
makes
French
it way
vanilla
better.
thing on the cappuccino machine.
Really?
Oh yeah, they don't get black. They call into the show and act like they're getting black coffee.
You're probably right.
I give Bart a lot of credit.
I give Bart
You know what
credit.
Bart
Courage.
is he's just got expensive taste.
All during the break,
don't
it's
know
like,
if that's
okay,
true.
Bart, we'll lay off. We'll lay off. And then the mics open back up, and it's just too easy.
I don't know that that's true.
Brent is in Cersei. You know what goes great with a cigarette is a gingerbread latte
With oat milk.
with oat milk.
You know, what goes great with a heater is manwich. I'm eating manwich right now on my
Oh, my
back porch.
gosh. Wow, that's a healthy breakfast.
Eating what?
Man,
Oh, Chuck, you know I'm just health personified.
I know you are. It's a sloppy Joe
Hey,
mix for those who don't know.
Let's talk with mustard. It's great. Let's talk about this Razorback basketball game last night.
All right.
Hey, Chuck, tell me, Fierro, was he one of Kentucky Stars last year?
He was a good player. I mean, I think he's gotten a lot better, but no, he's really good. He can do a lot of things.
He can. He could win the JD Note lookalike contest.
Well, I hadn't really noticed that, but I'll have to take a closer look.
I mean, with the hair and with the braids and all that. But Chuck, do we not have? We played 7 players last night, right?
We did.
Do we not have anybody on the roster that could step in there for 2 minutes to give our guys a break? Or when are we going to be healthy?
That's a good question.
Well, that is a good question
They-
about
they-
when they're going to be healthy.
Short-handed last
and
night.
I don't know the answer to that. It doesn't sound like Brazil's going to be out that long. He rolled an ankle. Adu's been a little bit different. I mean, he came back and played, I think he played 7 minutes and 9 minutes, and then it dropped off to 4, and then he didn't play. So it seems like perhaps, just from the outside looking in, looks like, they're going to make certain that he's really ready to go and help him. Just, again, my guess would be that You know, you hope that by the time you get into SEC play, he's ready to go, but I'm not really sure where they are in that regard. But, you know, here's the thing, Brent, and I think people sometimes make a little too much out of this. Now, foul trouble is a different deal because you can get into a thing, you know, your bench can get real thin at that point, but hey, man, these guys are kids. They play AAU ball. They play 4 games a day. I mean, I think we make too much sometimes out of kids not, you know, getting tired. I'll just put it that way.
And we're not a fouling team by any stretch of the imagination, are we, Chuck?
Fewest in the league right now, at least going into last night. I don't know where it is today, but they had the fewest committed in the league going into last night.
And we got a big UALY Friday night, correct?
That's right. 8 o'clock. I think we'll have the biggest home crowd since the exhibition game, Kansas.
I think so. Y'all, hey, Bo, what was the guy's name at the Pryor Center you told me I could call and ask about
Randy Dixon.
Randy Dixon, that's what I thought. Okay. Thank y'all. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Brent. We're an information clearinghouse today.
Randy, longtime news director at KATV. KATV's done a great job with their archives over the years.
Well, let me say this.
A
that
lot of
Pryor
Razorback
Center,
stuff. Yeah.
From Senator Pryor and Barbara Pryor and Mark Pryor and that whole family, that is one of the greatest gifts. If you like particularly video history, and Channel 7 had a lot to do with it out of Little Rock, but there are other places that do too. That is an enormous resource for our state.
Yeah, I can geek out on that.
Oh, I can too.
Because I think, you know, from like universities and from a sports perspective, athletic departments, there's such history. It's everywhere, like posted, you know, but we don't have it readily available for storytelling. So, like, if they never did a 30 for 30 on Bo Jackson at Auburn, where's Bo Jackson's story? There's articles that have been written, but those aren't easily found on the internet years later. Maybe they will be in the future. But to tell, like, do your own stories, do your own documentaries if you're an athletic department. And Hogs Plus has done a great job of that now. KATV was that well before its time.
No doubt.
And they saved it all, and they have it in archives. And if you want to go back and do a documentary or find out something or see a story like when Arkansas was making their national championship run in basketball, Chuck, and you've got news reports of them at the hotel, you know, and the crowd in the hotel lobby. Like, you don't just get to go relive it if nobody has it.
Well, and that's the part in all this that's key is that they kept it, and they kept it in usable form. You know, everyone assumes, and they've assumed for years, that everything you say on the radio or on television is recorded. Now, it is now. And it's very easy now. I mean, Edward plays things we said 15 minutes ago back on the show. Bart does too. But in those days, it wasn't like that. And, you know, I'll give you an example, and you know this is true, Bo. Back when I used to do Sports Rap, people would say, go back and listen to the tape. There was no tape. I mean, there wasn't any tape. People would say, you said this, and I'd say, well,
that's when you were at your best.
That's right. You just deny you said it. And there wasn't any tape. You prove I said it. And, of course, it's different now. But my point is, to make that work for all those years, you have to have such an appreciation for posterity and how this is going to play down the road. And the old hands can correct me if I'm wrong, but Jim Pitcock, I believe, and so many others there, Randy, and they've just done a great job. And, of course, the Pryors were the ones that made it possible.
We got a text in that says, hell, Bart makes the show. He's the captain.
I know.
Let's make fun of me for a minute, right? Of the birthdays that we have listed today, I'm going to acknowledge the ones that I don't know who they are.
All right.
And you guys can tell me.
All right.
Okay, this is an embarrassing fact about me. Like, I watch movies, and I'll enjoy a character, and I'll be like, and I'll see him in another movie. I have no idea their name. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about Denzel Washington and George Clooney and Jodie Foster, who's one of the birthdays today. But I don't know, a lot of names. Maybe I should pay attention to more details. But I'm there to watch the movie. I don't really necessarily geek out on who the actors are. I don't stick around and watch the credits. Maybe it's a flaw, but I'm just being honest with you. Adam Driver's 41. Who is he?
Never heard of him.
Played a big role in the new Star Wars movies.
That's one.
He was the bad guy in the new Star Wars.
There you
movies.
go. I'm not a
He's
Star
been in
Wars
a ton of.
movie
He's been in a ton
person.
of.
That's the reason.
Ton of stuff.
There you go. Jodie Foster, she's an actor, right?
Yes.
Actress.
Yeah. Well, we don't say that anymore.
Do we not?
No, everybody's an actor. I don't know if
Okay,
you knew
I'm
that.
sorry.
But yeah, well, I
pardon
know.
me?
Public apology, please.
play,
We'll put it on a billboard.
Really?
You can still say actress. The Oscar goes to best actress.
If I offended anyone by referring to her as actress,
Well,
let
you
me-
did.
Let me offer my.
You did. So if I get offended right there, do you get offended at me for being offended?
No, I don't get offended at you for being offended, but I do think there's an issue with you. I do think that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like Jodie
That's
Foster. I've
fair.
always liked her. I know 3 of the 4 birthdays. Just for the
Okay,
record,
Allison Janney. Who's that?
she's on that mom show.
She is. Before that, she kind of rose to fame on The West Wing.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't know that, but I saw her on the mom show.
Seven-time primetime Emmy Award
Really?
winner. She's won an Oscar. One of the most talented actresses
65.
of her generation.
Wow, that's a
65
ringing
years
endorsement.
old today. 65. And then Calvin Klein, 82.
I feel like everybody knows who
Calvin Klein
Do
underwear.
people still wear Calvin Klein
Underwear.
jeans?
Yep.
Do they?
Calvin Klein
Are
underwear.
there blue jeans out
everything.
there?
Everything. Calvin
Calvin
Klein
Klein?
sunglasses.
Yeah.
Calvin Klein fragrance.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing.
You should start your own line.
Welcome back to the 80s.
What if we had the Chuck Berry? What if by the time you were 82, you had a clothing line and a brand?
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? the regular guy look.
If you talk about, like, we know Mike Tyson doesn't care about legacy, but if you could have a legacy, like to be remembered for something, how about underwear?
Well, yeah, I like a good pair of boxers. What can I say? You know,
Shout
I
out
mean,
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about that, but you're right. It would be a legacy. There's no doubt about that.
I'm here to make you think, Chuck.
Well, thank you. That's that is something to think about.
We're brought to you in part by First Security Bank, only in Arkansas, with convenient locations all over our state, committed to making our state a better place to live. They love the Hogs. They love banking. They love people. You walk into a First Security Bank, you feel like you're right at home. The official bank of the Chuck and Bo Show. FSBank.com is where you can find them online. First Security Bank, member FDIC, 730. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Everyone remembers the Florida A&M game, and later became known here in Pulaski County as Rattlergate.
Being a Razorback fan isn't just about the game. It's about the community, the tradition, and the moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, the official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorbacks, we understand the importance of those moments. That's why we offer a selection of fine jewelry that goes beyond the ordinary, just like our Hogs. Visit Blakeman's Fine Jewelry in Rogers, where you'll find the perfect piece to celebrate your Razorback spirit and the special moments in your life. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
And Hog Noxious, our listeners just don't let us down. He said, Chuck, explain it to them. Smash or trash by saying swipe right or left.
Together we stand as tall as the Tower of Old Maid. Our memories are etched in stone like names on Senior Walk, and our blood flows Razorback red. For 100 years we've been hog wild, and today we continue the tradition. We are Arkansas Razorbacks.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special, we have the French Toast Turkey Melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily Sandwich Shop. And if you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Hey, it's Todd Richardson. We're live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
If you don't wear tailored clothing, dressing up a lot, you don't want to spend a lot of money on it, the rental is the way to go because you get in a lot less expensive. Your party all matches and you look really coordinated with the ladies in your event. You get to try it on so everybody knows that it fits. There's no worries the weekend of the wedding. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental because it's fun to look good.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Hey, Hog fans, it's Zach with the Ruskin and Zach Show. Join me this Saturday, November the 23rd, from 10 to noon at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville for ESPN Arkansas's Game Day pregame show. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt at the Stadium Shop will have a buy one regular priced clothing item, get a second equal or lesser value, half off, including their new Nike apparel and jerseys. With the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole, it does not get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. ESPN Arkansas Game Day show live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback this Saturday from 10 to noon.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
If your performance is like it is blocking, if your performance is in our secondary is like it in your real life, they're going to call you in the office, shut you down, look you in the eye, and tell you two simple words. Hit the road, you're fired.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I'm disappointed that Chuck's going to be in Kansas City for Thanksgiving. It was my chance to have Chuck over to the house. And he's happy he doesn't have to say no. I'm in Kansas City. Speaking of where things are, college football.
I would come, though.
You would.
I mean,
not.
I would.
No,
Yeah.
That's not.
Well,
it's going to be an ongoing
no,
thing.
I would tell you that I'll see if I can make it, and then I wouldn't show. That's basically what would happen. If we're being honest, I would tell you I was coming, and then something would come
And
up.
if I come, I'll bring this side, but
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to make it either. So you might want to have another one.
There's a chance I might cancel. I'm just going to tell
A
you.
really good chance.
Yeah.
The college football playoff show comes out again tonight. The new rankings tonight as part of the show. Brandon Zimmerman on Twitter, who I believe covers college football, made a point about SEC schools. If you want to neutralize their speed, Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama, put them on frozen turf where nobody can change directions or feel their hands. And I got to thinking, like, it's a great point about where games could be played.
There's no doubt.
And we really thought about this. Like, what if you end up at Ohio State on the road as your first playoff game, or Indiana,
or Penn State? I mean, you're
Notre
gonna
Dame.
You're going to go play in the frozen tundra. And it is going to be different.
We haven't had that in postseason play very often.
No, we haven't.
We've got them inside usually, and this will be another factor. College football, big changes. Like, I think we all knew it was going to be a big change, but we didn't really understand it. And now you're starting to really think through scenarios, and you're looking at teams who we all thought would be a playoff team. And like, who's guaranteed to be in the playoffs right now? Like, Indiana loses this game to Ohio State, I don't think they're in. But then I don't know what's going to happen in other games, and we're surprised by at least an outcome or two every weekend.
Well, you've still got these conference championship games to be played, too.
Oh, my gosh.
And now these things are fast becoming a relic, I think. But for now, you still have them. And that's going to play a big, big role in all this, because some things are going to happen on that Saturday that I think really, shuffle the deck, so to speak. And as a fan, I'm anxious to see it all.
Can you hear the Lane Kiffin clip okay? Is it? Can you play it if you get it? My computer's acting up. But Kiffin talked about this, and to your point, Chuck, like if it used to be a goal to win your conference, play in the championship game. If you play in a championship game, okay, and then you end up playing in the entire playoff, what would that be if you play all? If you don't get a bye, is that 3 games in the playoff or 4?
3. Yeah.
So if you play in a conference championship game, and you play in the first round of the playoffs, it'd be 4.
It's 4.
It'd be 4. Right. So if you play in your conference championship game and the entire
games.
17 games, this is
that
another
is a
thing.
professional football season.
Well, not just that.
But the season's so long now, like it's just a grind.
Well, not just that. The conference championship games can cost you a spot in the playoff.
Yeah, here's Lane Kiffin talking about this yesterday.
It's changed. The conference championship could have a big impact both ways for people. I've talked to other coaches, so I'll just kind of give you the feeling from some other coaches that, they don't want to be in it. The reward to get a bye versus the risk to get knocked out completely, I mean, that's a really big risk just to get a bye. So I think it's ended up being a very unique situation of all, postseason sports, the way that system's set up there and how you could go to that and get knocked out. And if you don't go, you're in.
Yeah, I think he's exactly right. And I know that's been simmering just below the surface for a lot of coaches during the course of this season. Now, I'm not talking about the coaches their teams aren't going to make the championship game, but I'm talking about those coaches whose teams do. First off, a bye's not the end-all, be-all. They'll make it out to be, but it's really not. In fact, I'm not sure that byes are as helpful as people make them out to be, quite honestly. So, you are talking about the risk. I mean, if you've got a 2-loss SEC team and a pair of them in that conference championship game, the loser may still get in, but everybody else is going to talk about SEC bias and how the whole thing's rigged and how they don't deserve to be there. And there is going to be an enormous amount of pressure on the committee to keep that 3-loss SEC team out. And that's why I think that if you're going to expand this, and look, let's not act like this thing's going to stop at 12. Of course it's not. They're already talking in the back rooms about ways to make it bigger. This is going to end up like conference tournaments in basketball. If the selection committee views them the same way the basketball selection committee does, which means they don't put any value in them at all, then I'd be okay with continuing to play them because they're a money grab just like conference basketball tournaments are. But the idea that those games are going to alter the bracket, I don't think you can go that far, and I think they'll begin to move away from that.
The other crazy thing, as we just do a couple minutes here on the playoff, and we'll move on.
All right.
We love college football. We're assuming you've got an interest in it as well, even if the Razorbacks aren't in the playoff, which is kind of why we're talking about it, just because it's different and it's surprising in some ways. But to realize the top seeds in the playoff will not be the top 4 teams is another sort of head scratcher. So right now, like before they come out with the rankings tonight, if we were playing in the playoff this past weekend, Oregon would be the 1 seed, Texas would be, let me just say top 4 seeds. These teams get byes. Oregon, Texas, Miami, and Boise State. In the rankings, that's 1, 3, 11, and 12, which is very confusing to people. So you can be seeded, you could be 12th and be a top 4 seed. You could be 11th and be a top 4 seed. And this group of 5 team is going to be representing a championship group? Is like
why does Boise State deserve a top 4 seed?
Well, they don't, but this is what they had to do to get it passed. It's going to be changed. Fans will demand it. We won't be in this setup very long. You're going to have to seed this thing 1 through 12 regardless of where you finish in your conference standings. Part of that, though, is you got to get rid of these conference championship games. If we're going to turn this thing into a full-fledged playoff, then let's have a full-fledged playoff. Let's seed these teams like they do in professional sports, and let's play this thing, and let's forget these conference championship games. Because, look, which would you rather do, win the SEC or get in the playoff and win the whole thing? It's going to be like basketball, where you gladly seed the conference tournament for a better opportunity in the national tournament. Happens in baseball every year. And conference championship football games are going to go that way. There's just no way around it.
We'll get into basketball and football when we come back. Got updates on the billboard if you missed it earlier. I want to look at a case study besides Arkansas. I like doing this so you can relate it back to Arkansas with a football coach and the job he has done or hasn't done when we come back. Also, I always want to – can we have a segment on the show where I clarify someone who misunderstood and then tweeted about it? A lot gets lost in translation from the show, then posted on social media, and then pontificated about in a basement somewhere. And I feel the need to talk to this one person on the entire show. It's a flaw.
Bo answers his critics next.
877-377-6963. Brought to you in part by Oaklawn and Oaklawn Sports. Download the Oaklawn Sports app in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store to get in on the action. Futures, outright winners, spreads, totals, player props, game props, live in-game wagering, all available at the Oaklawn Sports app. New Oaklawn Sports customers earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. And Oaklawn has so many things. Great restaurants, a great spa, live racing coming up December 6th. Obviously, a casino. Oaklawn.com. You can get all the details. And don't forget about the special events happening in the Oaklawn Event Center. Trace Adkins coming in January. Larry the Cable Guy in January. Just log on to Oaklawn.com. 7:45. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I think that having Brian, allowing him to call in occasionally, is a healthy reminder of why you don't like Texas. Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, now more than ever, it's important to partner with a well-trained real estate professional, someone who understands all the ins and outs of the game and makes sense of all the things we read about in the real estate market every day. That's why I've partnered with Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, from the very beginning. And that's why I recommend them to you. I remember the first time I bought a home. I didn't have any idea what was going on. They did, fortunately, and they guided me through the process. They listened,
And perhaps that's the most important thing. You want someone on your side of the table who understands your needs and who listens. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Fayetteville and Bentonville. They're in the River Valley as well in Fort Smith. You hear us talking about their office in Branson. You're going to see their yellow signs all over town. And you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
You say, well, that's a tough thing to say. Well, we live in a tough world.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hey, Ty Richardson, I'm with my friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan, I know you're a wizard here at First Financial Mortgage, but you do okay with the sticks as well.
Yeah, I've been playing golf since I was 5. I've been in the golf game for a long time.
Question is, what are you better at, golf or lending?
I have to say that equally both. I've used golf in my career to kind of help propel it as well. I used to prepare hard with golf. I do the same thing in work. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5, ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jasco Graphics, 16 years in the industry. What all y'all service here at Jasco?
Logos, we do food trucks, cars, we do custom banners, signs for big and small businesses, stickers, you name it, we just about do it all right here at Jasco. Jasco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jasco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You got witchcraft going on up there in Kansas City, man. I mean, they do. There's like weird stuff going on.
Okay, tell me more.
I'm just saying that when's the last time you saw a kick like that blocked at the end of the game?
No, not in the NFL.
Exactly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
They're not unbeaten anymore, though. Buffalo beat them.
The Chiefs are they're like a team that keeps figuring out ways to win, but they didn't figure out a way to win the game against Buffalo. But I don't really think it's a bad loss.
They're still going to go to the Super Bowl, probably.
Yeah, they're probably. Oh, they're certainly a contender.
Oh, yeah.
At this point in the season, no reason to think they won't be there. But as we know, you get into the playoffs and crazy things happen. Speaking of the playoffs, we were talking about the college football playoff a moment ago. Rick is in Lowell, wants to chime in. Rick, go ahead.
Hey, these playoff games, say the Ole Miss goes to the playoffs, is there a chance that they don't possibly, I mean, everybody's playing to win, but you don't play your full strength so you don't get hurt and you go in as a 2-loss?
Man, it's hard to throw that out there. It's hard to throw off on a football game.
Yeah,
you know,
I have a hard time believing that would happen.
You know, it's a tough situation. I mean, the SEC has we have 2 5-1 teams and 2, 3, 4, 5 2-loss teams. So you got basically 7 teams that maybe have a shot.
I've always thought the breakaway idea was bad until now. I mean, I just I look at this and I look at this playoff, and we're sitting here talking about Boise State, and we're talking during the break. Is Arizona State a playoff contender? It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I mean, are you in? I mean, this is nuts.
Here's the question: what's the most important thing in football? Like, if I just throw that out there, you're a football.
You mean
program.
the actual game?
No, I'm not
the
even.
game
I'm not
itself?
qualifying it. What's the most important thing to a football program?
Players.
Well, I mean, to do what? Win.
I don't
right?
know.
To win.
All right.
So
what are you driving at?
I'm driving at, if your goal is to win a national championship, get out of the SEC. If your goal is to make as much money as possible to fund the entire athletic department, stay in the SEC. I mean,
I'm just talking about the SEC seceding from the rest of the world.
Oh, jeez.
Just doing our own thing.
How
How
does that help Arkansas?
Well, I'm not saying it helps or hurts. I'm just saying.
I thought you were talking about Arkansas succeeding from the SEC.
No, I'm not talking about that. I don't think that at all. I'm talking about the SEC breaking away, maybe with the Big Ten. But you cannot have a playoff where teams like Boise State and Arizona, I mean, they're good teams. They deserve to have a reward for the seasons that they've had. I'm not knocking them in any way, shape, or form. But don't tell me those teams are anything more than a sixth or seventh place team in the SEC. Barely top 4 in the Big Ten.
Here's new power rankings I want from Bart. Okay, Bart, here's what I would like from you the rest of the season. I want you every Tuesday night when they come out with the new college football playoff rankings to tell us on Wednesday how many teams are in that top 25 that Arkansas could beat or that Arkansas is as good as.
Well, I'm not
or
even...
Vegas would favor on a neutral field Arkansas over this team.
Well,
or
even if it's not Arkansas,
3
even if it's not Arkansas, middle of the pack SEC, South Carolina in Columbia. What would the line be on a Boise State or an Arizona State or a Colorado or any of these other schools that are talking about being legitimate playoff contenders? I mean, Carolina would be favored on their home field, wouldn't you say?
Boise State doesn't have a quality win.
On their home field.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Like I would say probably right now, South Carolina -3 versus Colorado.
Really? In Columbia?
In Columbia.
What about in Boulder?
In Boulder,
Pick 'em?
I'd make it a pick 'em game, slight lean to Colorado.
All right.
Maybe Colorado
That's
minus
fair.
1.5.
That's fair.
I think Colorado's a pretty good football team.
I'm not saying they're not. They are a good team.
they've
I
got-
like watching them play. Deion's
they've
done a
got the
great
best player
job
in the
there.
country.
No doubt about it. But they're not the best football team in America.
No.
And they shouldn't be in that conversation, respectfully.
No. But if they win the Big 12, should they be the 12 seed or the 11 seed? Sure.
I won't disagree with that, but I don't think they ought to be top 4.
No, absolutely not. It's a bad system that they created.
Hogs beat Pacific last night in basketball, if you missed it, 91-72. Not a great crowd. It was part of the conversation afterward. By the way, Razorback soccer, 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, who beat Oklahoma State in round 1, plays again on Friday at home against Cal, same night as Arkansas hosting Little Rock, UALR, and Darrell Walker.
Basketball game's not till 8, though. I don't know what time soccer
I think
match
it's probably at 7 if I had to guess. Chuck and Bo Show.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatgnomecosmetic.com and click on the Sweat No Edge.
Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brands, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
I want to make a couple of points here because I have the floor.
All of it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Did your spouse move out and take the Christmas decorations with her? Mock Legal Solutions is here to help with your divorce and your decorations. On Friday, November 22nd, ESPN Radio will be live all day from our conference room in Fort Smith. Tune in or drop in for the morning rush, halftime, and wrap up the day with the ESPN equivalents of Cousin Eddie, Ruskin, and Zach. Sign up on hitthatline.com to register for our Christmas giveaway. Walmart gift cards and one fully decorated Christmas tree will be given away. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
You serious, Clark? Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Z Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine, a high this afternoon in the upper 60s to low 70s. Clear skies, upper 30s to low 40s overnight, and then sunny and cooler for Wednesday, a high in the middle to upper 50s. We're going to hang on to the mid to upper 50s again Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Are you sure this is legal?
I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
Hey, Hog fans, it's Zach with the Ruskin and Zach Show. Join me this Saturday, November the 23rd, from 10 to noon at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville for ESPN Arkansas's Game Day pregame show. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt at the Stadium Shop will have a buy one regular priced clothing item, get a second equal or lesser value, half off, including their new Nike apparel and jerseys. With the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole, it does not get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. ESPN Arkansas Game Day show live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback this Saturday from 10 to noon.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. Join me, Phil, and Dr. Charles Liggett every Monday at 12:15 for my favorite segment, 3 Up, 3 Down.
Man, that early slate of games, a lot of good games. Phil, congrats to Pittsburgh.
3 Up, 3 Down is presented by River Valley Smile Center. Visit rivervalleysmiles.com or give them a call at 479-646-0706. That's River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Thankfully, it's National Stress Awareness Day.
It is.
The day after the
It
election.
is. Give me one of your healthy
Yeah,
ways to
sounds
relieve
great.
stress. What's one of your techniques, Bart?
Yoga.
Oh, my God.
Jeez. Yoga was not what I had on my bingo card. I shoot whiskey. I do drugs. I run. I go in the woods and shoot my rifle. Yoga was not what I was expecting. I mean, he could have said anything.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
Ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
It's one of the best bits I've ever heard on a radio show. And I don't. We should have just walked away. That should have been it. I mean, we
That's
can't
it.
top that.
Drop the mic.
We can't top that.
No muss.
Until we go down more of Bart's personal road.
I was going to say we pledged like 30 minutes ago we were going to lay off Bart. And then like we play the intro there where we're riding Bart.
Yeah.
And sorry, Bart.
Bart's the cap. He's team captain. He's got to take the licks.
Well, I mean, he's the straw
Servant.
that stirs the drink.
That's exactly right. And a servant leader.
That's right.
On top of all that.
Straw and a servant.
So if you missed it, right off the top of the show, dark and early this morning at 6 a.m., we talked about the billboard.
Still
that-
cold.
that
You got to
has
the bottom of it.
Been a talking point for Razorback fans and especially on social media. And it's even led to people questioning whether Sam Pittman will be back next year, which to our understanding hasn't changed at all, barring some unforeseen
The billboard
upset.
changed to nothing in terms of Sam Pittman's future at Arkansas,
Right.
despite all the social media and the clickbait articles you've read since then. It's not changed one single thing.
And Brandon Marcello, who comes on our show occasionally and lives in Northwest Arkansas, is a national college football writer, was on another show in Birmingham, and they asked him about Pittman's future, and he kind of left the door open, saying a lot of things were happening, and then came back and clarified that he thought Pittman would be back for next season. So we still believe that to be the case. We haven't gotten any indication otherwise. And by the way, some people have said, well, if Arkansas was going to have Pittman back next year for sure, they would have already announced it. That's not true. A lot of ADs do not, and they may talk to their coach about it, do not like to give that vote of confidence because it sometimes is like the kiss of death, right? You do that and then you lose to Louisiana Tech. And then you have to talk something different.
That's kind of what happened at Florida. And I do think that there were...
That's a different deal at
Well,
Florida.
but I think there were 2 or 3 ADs in our league who were prepared to go public the same way Scott Strickland did for Billy Napier. Problem was, Florida got their butt kicked on Saturday, or the previous Saturday. They came back and won this past one, but this was the week before. Sometimes, as you say, that dreaded vote of confidence makes matters worse from a public perspective. My feeling on this, and I've said this before, there's never been a point this season where I thought Sam Pittman was going to be fired. Not one single moment. Now, I've been around here long enough to know if they lose Saturday to Louisiana Tech, all bets are off, because it no longer becomes an athletic department decision then. I mean, it becomes it becomes a much larger deal if you lose a game like that. But absent that, I've never for one moment thought he wasn't going to be our head coach next year.
I've also been somewhat surprised by the reaction to the billboard and the positive responses about the football program, the improvement this year. and keeping the guys together, trying to keep the coordinators and the coaches, and that like people have seen improvement. We hear from a really vocal minority sometimes, and I think there was a feeling when this digital billboard appeared on Saturday, that somebody with juice had something to do with it. Somebody with some real pull. So I called the billboard company to find out what kind of information that they're willing to give, and without citing any names or any of those types of things, $700 to have that billboard for a week. So not a lot. You don't have to have a lot of money or a lot of juice. Now, I'm not saying $700 isn't any amount of money, but you don't have to be wealthy to take out this billboard. You can get 6 of your friends and you all go in for $100 and you got a billboard you can all chuckle at. Also, people with juice don't take out billboards. They make things happen behind the scenes. Oh, yeah. That might be a little more expensive. But this was not this was just like somebody calling a radio show saying that. I mean, it's the equivalent of that. But it gets a reaction.
That's fair.
It's not like, if you just post this on social media, you don't get maybe the reaction that you're going to get from a picture of a billboard, which also is a bad look for Arkansas, by the way. It makes the fan base look crazy. It doesn't help recruiting.
Oh, that's never.
And it has zero impact. It has zero impact on the decision. So all it is a negative for what you say you like, which is your football program, and you want it to be better. But while you go take out, this is just my take, when you go do that, you actually hurt the efforts of the people trying to give you a winning program. And that may sound like whatever to you, but it's true. It's just like that's a fact.
It is, and that's not going to dissuade everybody, unfortunately. I mean, you're just going to have situations like this. Without the Houston Nut and the flying banners and all that stuff, I doubt you would have had the digital billboard this time. Just to be very honest, I don't recall digital billboards for Morris, or I don't recall anything for Bielema. Maybe it happened. I don't know. Things like this. Well, I'll just speak to this specific incident. It has no consequence on anything.
So when Arkansas played, let's take a step back, and I want to talk about Mike Gundy for a second. Like, as an Arkansas fan or somebody that's just, doesn't have a horse in that race at Oklahoma State, if somebody walks up to you today and they say, man, I'm an Oklahoma State fan, we need to get rid of Mike Gundy, what do you tell them? Do you go, yeah, I agree. You guys have had a terrible season. You're 3-7. You're 0-7. At the time Arkansas played you were a projected college football playoff team. You had 10 returning starters on one side of the ball, 11 on the other side of the ball, and the returning offensive player of the year in the Big 12, and Ollie Gordon. You were a college football projected team. You're 0-7 in the Big 12. You're 3-7 this year. What do you tell an Oklahoma State fan when they say we should get rid of Mike Gundy? Do you say, yep, you should? Or do you say, hey, who's going to do better than Mike Gundy? The Cowboys were 5-7 in Gundy's first season, and since then have played in 18 consecutive bowl games and have won 10 or more games 8 times, including a 12-1 and 12-2 season. Gundy's 96-24 at home, 167-79. That was all going into the Arkansas game. So he has this season. Do you think they should get rid of Mike Gundy? Because a bunch of Oklahoma State fans do. They're tired of him.
Here's the thing Gundy's got to do. If I was an Oklahoma State fan, I don't know if I'd be saying fire him or not. He's been there a long time. Sometimes your act gets old. But something's happened within the confines of their football building, within that locker room, if you want to use that phrase. Something's happened. Because that team's got talent.
The bottom fell out.
That team's got talent. I mean, that was not obviously as great a football team as some made them out to be when Arkansas played them, but they weren't bad either. And certainly they weren't the type team that you looked at and said they're going to lose 7 straight games. Something's happened over there internally. And if I were an Oklahoma State fan, just a fan, from the outside looking in, I would say Mike Gundy's done a great job here over the years. He's served us well. But he's got to get control of his program again. However you do that. I don't think that's unfair to say to a coach like that. But I think your question about who you're going to get that's better, nobody that's not passing through. You know, a program like Oklahoma State, you're not going to get anybody better that wants to come and stay. You might get a Les Miles on the way somewhere else. You might get a Jimmy Johnson on the way somewhere else. But I don't think you're going to get an Oklahoma State guy. You're not going to get someone that loves the program as much as you do. So there's pros and cons, but just as an observer from the outside, there's too much talent for them to be where they are right now. Now, does that warrant dismissal? No, I don't think it does. But there are some things he's evidently got to get control of over there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a surprising just sort of meltdown year for them. I don't know if anybody saw it coming at this level. Got a tweet yesterday after we got off the air. Bo Mattingly just said on his morning propaganda show.
Oh, that's when you know it's going to be a good one.
That Georgia has a hard time winning 10 games every year. I never said that. I almost said Mark Richt. I said Kirby Smart was having a hard time winning 10 games at Georgia this year. And it was out of the conversation that pick any coach in America, anybody you think that is awesome, and put them at Arkansas. And so I said, well, let's just go Kirby Smart because he's the highest paid coach out there and has won, multiple national titles recently. And put Kirby Smart at Arkansas. Can he win 10 games every year? He has a hard time doing it at Georgia. They're having a hard time staying there this year. I didn't say Georgia doesn't routinely win 10 games. I'm saying it's hard. So if it's hard at Georgia, and they've got more NFL players within 3 hours of their campus than Arkansas has within 5, what makes you think that coach can come to Arkansas and just flip the switch, and all of a sudden Arkansas's this 10-win program every year? I'm not saying that Arkansas can't win 10 games. We're talking about on the regular. That was the point I was making. And I don't think that's propaganda. I think that's a topic of discussion. Ligma. That's his first name on.
Ligma?
Yeah, Ligma. I don't know.
Well, the gist
Ligma
of, I think,
Johnson.
what you were saying was that it's hard to win 10 games anywhere. Much less at a place where they're unaccustomed to that. They've done a great job.
This is what you get on Twitter.
I know. Ligma.
Stop. Say the full name.
No, don't.
Sound it out.
Don't. Let's not. Let's not.
877-377-6963. We got a bunch of texts coming in. We'll try to get to those next. 877-377-6963. We're brought to you in part by Pasco Air, Plumbing and Electric, the Fayetteville Auto Park, Flight by Yingling, Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, and First Security Bank. Chuck and Bo Show, good morning.
What do you think Brian at Ozark was doing under the full moon? I have a vision of some peyote, a tailgate, and a Keystone Light.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original Sports Rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Part has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Part, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatnomcosmetic.com and click on the Sweat No Edge. We want to make sure that you can read some ludicrous lyrics on his 47th birthday today.
I can do that one. Roll out, roll out.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I doubt you thought paint was anything like football, right? So you've got a favorite football team. Your painting team at the paint store in Van Buren gets you a solid primer, the perfect color, and a durable defense. That is what you want, right? Our team of Richards Paint and expertise always win for you. Whether contractor or do-it-yourself, we have the best team. The paint store in Van Buren. Go Hogs!
This is Ricky Young with Mr. Cabbage Head and the Screaming Radishes, vegetable-related rock for a healthier lifestyle. When we have any problem at all, we call 782-8940.
It's a great time to take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Jaeger's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Our brand new Barling location is now open at 942 Fort Street. Get these red hot buys at all 5 locations. A 230-piece Craftsman Versa Stack Mechanics tool set, only $99. Milwaukee Select M12 and M18 tools and batteries, also $99. And Ace Reward members get super instant savings on select DeWalt and Craftsman tools and accessories. Find more everyday low prices online at JaegersHardware.com.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
A lot of times critics don't know what the hell they're talking about, and I don't think they know much what they're talking about on this one either.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, glad you're back.
Hey, let me say this because we get this
All right,
a
say
lot.
Say it.
Hog fans
Bo's
are saying,
answer is Critics Day.
No. Somebody tweeted the show a long time ago. I don't know when we were talking about this, but he said, Bo, I once saw you steal a fountain drink at Flying Burrito, and now you're telling poor fans to buy tickets.
I remember when you were scraping for crumbs, Bo. Stealing soft drinks.
I gave you a quarter when you were under the overpass.
Exactly
now you're
right.
telling fans.
I remember when you stood
Not
at
everybody's
the corner,
there.
Little puppy at your side saying, I need some money.
We keep getting text about, this is from James in Mountainburg. Hog fans seeing what Indiana has done with a brand new coach in year one this year and are feeling like that should be us. The Indiana situation has yet to finish. Like, we'll see how the schedule. They haven't really played anybody. Well, but congratulations to them on having a historical year. Do you think it's going to continue? Not just this year, but like beyond that. And by the way, my point was, Pittman won 9 games when? Was that year 2?
Yeah, 3 years ago. Right?
Right, but what I'm saying is, like, the first year was COVID. So basically his first year of having a full season, he won 9 games at Arkansas. Mm-hmm. So, like, years can happen. So if you're going to make the argument, oh, look at Indiana, you got to also say that your coach basically did something similar.
Can we just do this exercise real quick?
Please, let's do it.
This is Indiana's football schedule. I'll read off the team. You tell me win or loss for Arkansas. Okay.
So it's more.
Well,
it's
now,
more impactful to
Bart,
actually-
you know there are people out there that think Arkansas would lose all these games.
Yeah,
and
I
that
know.
you even suggesting the Razorbacks would win even one of them.
We're
makes
not
you a
going to.
bootlicker.
People can do it for themselves.
All right, go ahead.
What?
Florida International,
That's a dub.
Western Illinois,
Okay.
UCLA at UCLA,
All right.
Charlotte,
Okay.
who just fired their coach.
Biff got fired.
Yeah, Biff got fired.
Yeah, Biff got
Sad
let
day.
go.
Bad day for tank tops.
Maryland at home, at Northwestern, Nebraska at home, Washington at home, at Michigan State, Michigan at home.
I don't know if they'd be 10-0, but they wouldn't
They'd be
where
pretty-
they are
pretty-
right
they'd be
now.
pretty close.
Yeah, I don't know where
Pretty
what
close.
the exact record
Who's the
would
best
be.
team in that bunch? Washington.
Regrettably, yes.
Yeah, like Michigan State's not having a good year. They're not very good this year. Neither is Michigan.
Michigan's terrible.
You could probably argue Nebraska might be the best of those teams.
Well, I think Washington's probably better than Nebraska. Maryland isn't.
Well,
isn't
the
bad.
point is it's
Actually,
not
no, I take
murderer's
that back.
row.
Maryland is bad.
And that is the reason why if Indiana loses to Ohio State Saturday, I don't know if they will or they won't. They're playing at the Horseshoe. But if they do, they're going to be right at the cusp of falling out of the playoff, even with one loss. I still think they'll be in it. But a second loss would certainly disqualify them because of their lack of strength of schedule. Look, every time there's a bust-out program, every fan of every school that's been trying to bust out forever wonders, why not us? And Indiana is not just here, but every program in America where the team's not winning the way they want them to, they say, well, what about Indiana? And that's how it works, man.
To your point, Chuck, the Hoosiers have just one win all season against a team with a winning record, and that is Washington, who is 6-5.
And Arkansas plays top 10 teams at home, and people get pissed off because they can't win. And then you say, well, we want to be like Indiana. Well, Indiana, they wouldn't win those games either. They wouldn't win those games in Bloomington. They wouldn't win those games in Timbuktu. It wouldn't matter. They're not. They wouldn't win those games. And so schedule does matter. Who you play matters. What league you're in matters. And I hope the selection committee, gives it as much attention as they should for all of them. All right, I'm done. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I was going to move on to the great point that you made yesterday. Did you hear? It did really well on social media.
Well, that's always my goal.
In-state talent.
That's always my goal.
By the way,
is
are
to
you
be
guys
a hit
posting those on
social
Facebook
media.
so Chuck can see them?
Yes,
they're on Facebook.
Yes.
Are you tagging
specifically?
Are you tugging? Are you
clever.
Are you
Hey,
tagging?
we've got
Chuck?
like 13,000 followers on Facebook
Holy
now.
smokes.
So I mean, come on.
Oh.
we got to feed those
They're
people
listening
too.
around the world. Oh, can we stop? I got another thing real quick. Can we stop the celebrity fight matchups coming out of the Tyson Jake Paul thing?
Oh yeah.
The
Like
memes?
no. Shaq is going to fight Gronk. Like, come on, really? And then the other one was Tyson fighting Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield once in the mix. So now we have two. Now we have two old men out there dancing around.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to see any more of this.
Yeah.
This was like a one and done thing for
We're
me.
not going to get fooled again on this one.
I saw-
At least not this year. Give us a year to
Yeah.
forget about it and fool us with something else.
I saw one that was like Jake Paul's next challenge. He's going to take on Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah.
18 holes of golf.
It's just it's crazy. Hey, we were suckers. We were all suckers. I admit it. We thought that we would watch Mike Tyson turn back the clock, even though most of us can't turn the clock back a week, much less 30 years. And we expected Tyson to do it for us, and we figured out he was mortal, and we figured out we got ripped off.
It was sad.
Right,
And
yeah,
now
it
I'm
was
seeing-
sad.
Now I'm seeing social media posts about how Tyson threw the fight.
He didn't throw the fight.
The fix was in. He wasn't allowed to throw uppercuts.
The only thing I'll say is that some of those punches that Tyson did land They still
look like they hurt.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to take it.
Oh, I'm not saying I would want to take it either, but you're not a 27-year-old, MMA guy. And 27, 28-year-old MMA guy can take that, and it doesn't affect him at all. And, I just don't want Netflix to get the NFL. If there's one thing that comes out of the Tyson fight that's good.
They have the NFL.
Well, I just don't want it to play any more of a role than it does right now. Because
Jerry Jones talking into a microphone that doesn't work.
And he's saying,
about
they're
the
such a big part of our future and all that. And I'm like, well, first off, hand Jerry a microphone that works. But look, in all seriousness, it goes to show you, as fans, when we watch a game, we focus on, whether or not we can see it and whether or not we think the announcer hates us and loves the other team. That's what we focus on. So much goes into putting on a telecast or a broadcast. Professionals make things that are very complicated look very simple. And that's what real production crews do. And Netflix did not have one in place for that telecast on Saturday night, Friday night, whatever night it was. Simple things like a microphone not working should be a given. By the same token, it takes a pro to remember and have the mental checklist to make, dot all the I's and cross all the T's. And they didn't do that.
They
didn't do it.
When you have your full-time production crew, you got the best of the best people working. When those people already have jobs and you're going to add a one-off over here somewhere, may not have that
That's
crew.
exactly
and
right.
you don't have all that experience.
That's exactly right.
And all those great people
You're hiring
working.
a bunch of subcontractors. Compare it to a project on your home. You're hiring a bunch of subcontractors. You're not hiring, a company that you're familiar with.
There's a reason Inside the NBA is a beloved show and so good, and it's because it's produced so well. Those guys have incredible chemistry with each other and with their production team.
Well,
and that's the reason ESPN basically traded for that and is bringing the entire production
That's
team
exactly
with
right.
them.
And that's the key to the whole thing. And that's the reason that Barkley and Ernie Johnson and all them are going to ABC, is because it's still going to be produced
by Turner,
by the TNT team. And
so smart. It's Game Day is an example of that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They haven't had every same person in the seat, but enough of the pieces have stayed together. When they hand one off, like change producers, there's an appropriate handoff with a bunch of people around that person to make it continue.
That's right.
At the level that it is, and it has, and we're geeking out on this a little bit, but it has so much to do with how you perform, how everything comes together. You can take a really big talent like a Charles Barkley or a Shaq or an Ernie Johnson, and you put them in a different environment, and they'll still be good, but it won't be the same.
Right.
They don't have the same people doing all the things they know they like to have and need to bring it all together. By the way, speaking of streaming, like we were talking about Netflix, this will be a streamed game on Saturday that Arkansas plays against Louisiana Tech on ESPN+. So make plans to stream
ESPN app, folks.
If you're wanting to watch it. Otherwise, you can listen to Chuck and you can be in a deer stand and all that. Of course, it's in the afternoon. But that's another interesting point. Is that Arkansas gets, this is like the one game a year you get to pick the game time.
Yeah.
So clearly they like a mid-afternoon game.
This
3
is
o'clock.
our game, I think. Yeah.
What is the best time for a game? Like if you live in it, like let's talk about Fayetteville. When does everybody want the game? They want it at 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 11 o'clock. What's the premium time, the best time?
Are you going to the game or are you watching it on TV?
Well, okay, let's say you're going to the game.
How old are you?
If I'm going to the game, I want it to be a night game because that's when the atmosphere is going to be the best.
I think if you're a restaurant,
you want the afternoon game.
You want it to be no later than 3.
Right.
And probably not as early as 11. But anyway.
No, you don't want an 11 o'clock game. I like a mid-afternoon game. That's just my personal taste. Now, if I had my absolute druthers, we'd play every game at 9 o'clock in the morning. We'd be on by 1. But that's just me.
I get up early anyhow, guys. I mean, let's just go play.
Considering other people, I tend to like a mid-afternoon game. One of the things I was thinking about this a couple of days ago for the new TV contract with SEC or with the SEC and the Disney channels, everyone focused on ESPN. It's that primetime night game on ABC that's made the package great. That primetime game on Saturday night. Now, for years, the best game in the SEC aired at 2:30 in the afternoon on CBS. But primetime Saturday night, that's when you want to play.
877-377-6963 is our number. Also, the Missouri game has been listed for 2:30 on the SEC network. So Missouri, the final regular season game for Arkansas in Columbia will be at 2:30 next Saturday, not Friday, but the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Get your shopping done Friday. Watch football
That's
Saturday.
exactly right. Pretty good plan. Hey, if you're buying or selling a home, Weicher Realtors, the Griffin Company is the name you need to remember. And it's different. I mean, when you're buying a home, lots of times you're looking for your dream home. Sometimes you're looking for your last home. But sometimes it's your first time out of the chute. And the great thing about Weicher Realtors, the Griffin Company, is regardless of your situation, they've been through it before. If you're a first-time home buyer, they're going to answer the 1,000,001 questions that you have. If you are looking for your dream home, they're going to find out, first off, exactly what that includes for you, and they're going to make certain that they find it for you. There's also going to be a time when you got to sell, and you're going to want to get the most that you can for your home. That's where Weicher Realtors is really good. They get you from contract to close. And ultimately, whether you're a buyer or a seller, that's where you want to be. Now, they're in Northwest Arkansas, Washington and Benton counties. Here is talking about their office in Fort Smith. They're in Branson now. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can log on to WeicherGriffin.com.
8:32, it's the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, first and foremost, congratulations on the official launch of the Chuck and Bo Show. I want to know, how did you guys decide which name went first, Chuck or Bo? Was that a flip of the coin?
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. And that's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians, backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to gopascal.com and don't worry about hot water anymore. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
We are possibly entering what could be a golden age in Razorback athletics.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
We fought back. We took a punch, and we answered back.
He's going to go! Johnson's at midfield, and there he goes! 98 yards. Keith, I saw it, but I'm not sure I believe it.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Are holidays stressful for you? Hey, Ty Richardson for the Whippoorwill. The Newmeyers would love to take care of some of that stress by providing you an awesome Thanksgiving dinner. Call the Whippoorwill at 479-769-2095 for the best Thanksgiving catering you've ever had. Smoked turkey breast, dressing, mashed potatoes, and turkey gravy with all the fixins. The Newmeyers' newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, taking care of your holiday this year.
Seems Thanksgiving Day is upon us.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Get the best deals of the year on select New Holland tractors and hay equipment right now at WT Equipment during New Holland's year-end value bonanza. Get the biggest savings with cash back plus 0% interest, $0 down, and 0 due until 2025. Don't miss your chance to harvest our best deals on New Holland's best equipment during value bonanza now at WT Equipment. Offer ends December 31st or while supplies last. For commercial use only. Subject to credit approval and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you stuck in a paper jam of printer prices? Paper cuts from budget cuts? Don't throw in the towel. Call Dixie Digital Imaging and dive into our new and used inventory blowout. We're slashing prices on top-of-the-line Xerox, Brother, and Epson printers and multifunction devices. Gently used or brand new models that are tired of being in our warehouse. Don't miss out on these deals. Call 479-783-6600 for more details. Quantities and availability are limited. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Here with Grant Neal, General Manager at Rhodes Chevrolet. Grant, it looks like your quality and quantity of pre-owns just keeps getting better.
Yeah, it's really getting a lot better, and the reason is because we're selling more new cars. More new inventories rolling in, and with that, we get better trade-ins, which are the highest quality used cars we get. They're all going through our shop, getting a high-quality inspection from our certified technicians, making sure that everything works and it stops, starts, and steers safely, because we want everything out on the lot to be at a high quality. But we have something for everybody, whether you're looking for a cheap set of wheels just to get around, or you need a new primary car for the family, a new truck for work, whatever it is, I promise we're going to have something for you on our pre-owned lot.
What if someone needs financing or doesn't have the best credit? Can you help them?
Absolutely. Our finance director, Robert Good, is an expert at working with the banks. We've had people who said that they'll never be able to buy a car, drive out of here in a brand new set of wheels. And as we know, the Fed just did another cut in rates, so it's only going to get better as the year goes on.
2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren. It's Rhodes Chevrolet, where we make car buying great again.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I knew I had to show up because after Chuck does a game, we don't know what's going to happen. I don't feel like there's a world where Chuck is not showing up and also lets us know.
That's true. If I don't show up, you need to try to contact me because there's an issue.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You're here and it's bright as ever today.
Well,
bright as ever. Chuck Barrett.
Yes, no day I've been happier to be here.
He was there late last night calling a win for the Razorbacks over Pacific, 91-72. Thero had 23, 6 boards, 4 steals. Boogie had 20 and 4 steals. Boogie Flans scored in double figures in every game so far this year. Chuck did the post-game show where he hands Cal a headset and Cal talks to the fans that are still in the building.
Yeah, he takes off. I think we asked 1 or 2 questions.
Autographs, some basketballs.
Autographs, basketballs. It's really kind of a cool deal. And, I know because I was around when, you'd come to the games and as soon as it was over, they were trying to get you out of there. I never liked that, just to be honest. And I think this is a lot better. I'm not saying you stay there all night, but I think it's great that he invites people down. And I hope people will continue to come sit down right behind the bench, radio area, bring a basketball, toss it up there. He'll sign it and toss it back to you. It's pretty cool.
What's Pacific's mascot?
Tigers.
Well, it's a bad year to be an owl if you're a football coach. All the mascots, all the schools with the mascot that's an owl have gotten fired. Tom Herman was the latest yesterday.
Florida Atlantic fired him.
FAU.
Rice.
Kennesaw State.
They're the Owls? Okay.
And Temple.
Wow.
Temple fired their coach after beating FAU.
Hey, if you're at one of these...
Both coaches in that game got fired.
If you're at one of these small schools and you don't have a big buyout and you're having a losing season, your butt's fixing to get fired. Now, if you're at a big school and you have a losing season and you got a huge buyout and your school is fixing to have to pay $25 million to players next year, you might make it. But these little guys, if they don't, those 4 coaches you just mentioned, I bet you add up their buyout. it's probably not even half of what one buyout is in the
$5.
SEC.
$5. I
You
just
know.
added it all up.
right.
It's
And,
$5.
those guys are in trouble. Some of those guys are going to get fired, like these four. Coaching at a bigger school makes you safer right now.
Who's on the hottest seat in the SEC? Is it Brian Kelly?
It might be today.
$60 million
It might
buyout.
be today. Even with that buyout, it might be.
Who's on a hotter seat than Brian Kelly?
I don't think they're going to fire him, but I think his seat's pretty
go.
high.
I would say Venables. I would say Venables.
I don't think Venables is going anywhere this year.
He might not, but I think from a fan perspective, I mean, like,
Yeah, I get that.
you know,
I've gone on record as saying I don't think, with the possible exception of Hugh Freeze, I don't think there's going to be an SEC coach fired at the end of this year. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's kind of my take.
Do you think Hugh Freeze is going to get fired?
I think the Auburn people are nuts, and I think that they would.
Fair enough.
I mean, beyond that, I would say he's safe. But I've seen Auburn before.
Here's a prediction for you.
All
You
right.
ready? And I haven't spent a lot of time thinking about this, but it's instinctive. The prediction is that Billy Napier will go on to win an SEC championship at Florida. He'll survive. He's surviving, and he's going to go win games there.
You think?
I think Billy Napier survives a near miss. The bullet goes flying by him, and he then goes on at Florida to have, let's just say it like this, multiple 10-win seasons.
I think Billy Napier is a good football coach. I think Florida probably had a lot of issues in the program that he's had to sort through and fix and weed out guys and get his guys in. I don't think there's any question that he's a good coach. And look, he's been at Alabama. He's one of those guys, so he knows what he's doing.
Well, we talked about there being a firing freeze a couple of weeks ago because of all the money that is now going into paying players and then what it would cost to buy out a staff and then to bring in a new staff. I mean, you're looking around $75 million of new expenses for a football program. So I think the firing is going to be slow this year, where normally it might be faster. And I wonder how many of these coaches will go on to do surprising things to the people that all wanted them fired because they got time that you otherwise, Chuck, wouldn't normally get.
It's possible.
And I think Napier's one of those guys.
He may very well could be. I think others will perhaps get those opportunities too. But now look, I don't think this is permanent. Just so we're clear, I don't think this is permanent. I think this is a bump in the firing road. I think those of you who enjoy a good coaching search, I think your day is going to come again. But I do think there's going to be a 2 or 3 year moratorium on this, and I think you're going to have to find other things to entertain you in December. But it'll be back. I mean, look, it's not going to be this way forever. But I do think as schools face financial uncertainty, and as they get their footing, so to speak, underneath this new financial world, you're not going to be incurring new debt right now. Now, 2 or 3 years from now, that's a whole different deal. But for right now, I do think there's going to be an adjustment period.
I just want to amend my thought from earlier. I think Oklahoma should fire Brent Venables. They're in the midst of their worst 3-year stretch since John Blake was the coach.
Well, look.
I mean, like, look,
Lincoln Riley ran out of town.
I'm perfectly fine with
Lincoln
Oklahoma
Riley
being
screwed,
a mess.
Lincoln Riley
He
screwed
left
them
him a
over.
mess.
He screwed them over.
It's not apples to apples.
No, it's not. And look, I am not at all upset about the fact that Oklahoma is at the bottom of the SEC. That doesn't bother me at all. I'm just saying from their perspective, I would understand why their fans would be really upset right now.
If I was an Oklahoma fan, I'd be
get it.
mad at the world right now.
Yeah.
Because the SEC shafted them on the schedule. Lincoln Riley shafted him on the way out to USC, and we're finding out now he wasn't all that much anyway.
Yeah.
And then they hired a guy because he was a good defensive coordinator. And hadn't been a head coach, I don't guess.
No, he'd been talked about for years.
If I was an Oklahoma fan, I'd just be mad.
That's what I'm saying. I
Period.
understand.
Yeah, I'd wake up mad.
I understand why they're screaming for Venables to be fired.
That's well said.
I understand.
We're brought to you in part by Flight by Yingling. If you want to celebrate, do it with a Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer brewed for the drinker who doesn't want to compromise on flavor or taste. For those who don't follow trends but craft them, who get more out of their day, night, and everything in between. For the go-getters, there's a new go-to. Only 2.6 grams of carbs, 95 calories, and 4.2% ABV. It's a premium refreshment, 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yuengling. Your ice-cold flight is waiting. Don't just raise a glass. Raise a Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. 8:47 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Rick's in Fayetteville. Rick, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's a privilege to talk with you guys, and I love the Razorbacks.
When it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, handpicked for their quality and beauty. They don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you on every step of the way. Whether you're planning a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or simply treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
Flight by Yuengling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment, 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
people everywhere, and then next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
Insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it by 3.
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
Well, you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
I like craft beer. I do. You guys always think I'm like the biggest dork on the face of the earth.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The American Patriot Promotions Gun Show is coming to Malvern December 7th and 8th at the Hot Springs County Fairgrounds. Join us Saturday, December 7th from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. and Sunday, December 8th from 9 till 3. Tickets are just $10 per person, $8 for police, and only $5 for veterans in the military. Children 16 and under are free. Go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Would you be caught alive in Hey Dudes?
Hey Dudes are real shoes. I don't know that Crocs always are.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, let me mention something as we come back. If you'll indulge me just for a moment here at the end of the show. Nate Allen's longtime sports writer. Those who follow the Razorbacks know Nate's name. Those who live in Fayetteville have known Nancy Allen for a number of years. Nancy passed away on Sunday night. And thinking about Nate today, I don't know that I've ever met an individual that personified the spirit of Fayetteville more than Nancy Allen. I mean, she taught school and ended up being a city council person in Fayetteville for a number of years. Her family goes, I mean, it's old Fayetteville. And but just thinking about Nate today. Nate's, he's gone through his own health issues, and Nancy was going through hers, and she passed in her sleep Sunday night. So thinking about that.
Yeah, institution, really.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah, really are.
Like if you've been around.
As Fayetteville,
as
Nancy Allen was as Fayetteville as it gets, and I mean that in the most complimentary way.
And Nate is I don't know, is he the last of the old school sports writers?
Acerbic.
Just yeah.
You know, he's
makes me smile.
He is he's been one of my favorites all my life.
I mean, I run into people like that still, would be like, "Did you see what Nate Allen wrote?" Like all these years later, and it doesn't matter where they found it. Like if Nate wrote it, they wanted to hear his take.
There was a time when after a football game, Nate Allen could walk into Rogers Rec on Dixon Street with a stack full of box scores, and you want to talk about a king in his castle. I mean, it was Nate Allen and Rogers Rec. And you know, those are the moments. And I've been here a long time, and I know people get tired of hearing that. But
well, it's important, you know.
These are a couple of people, and Nancy certainly was, and Nate remains. Two of the people that make Fayetteville, Fayetteville. And Fayetteville people know what I'm talking about when I say that.
We were talking about these coaches that at smaller schools are getting bought out, and we think there's going to be a lot fewer, if any, at the big schools. So we got some numbers on the buyouts. Like
this is the story right here.
Tom Herman's entire buyout was $4 million.
Yeah, that's why he's fired.
That's a lot of money, but not $60 million. Not
Brian Kelly's
million.
is 61.
Right.
That's why he's probably not going to get fired.
The Rice coach's buyout was $900,000.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't get over the fact that he beat Florida Atlantic, got fired, and then like 2 days later, Tom Herman got fired. Like both coaches. How often does that happen?
They should just
two head coaches, one game, get fired. Hey, if you're struggling to sleep at night, struggling to breathe, maybe you've got sleep apnea or some sort of sleep disorder. Maybe a CPAP machine's been recommended to you, but you don't like it. It's uncomfortable or whatever it is. You just don't want to wear it. Well, you know, not breathing while you're sleeping can cause severe health problems like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, stroke, even death. There are other options. Dr. Scotty Boulding, an Arkansas native and world-renowned surgeon, has proven surgical alternatives to help to improve your airway and help you breathe better. Breathe better today. Precedent.com. It's the Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine. Precedent.com. Get checked out so you can breathe better at night and all day long. Chuck, I'm glad you made it. You had a basketball game
Slice
late
of heaven.
in here today.
I'm rejuvenated.
It's Tuesday. Got a big week ahead of us. Lots of stuff happening. We'll see you tomorrow.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list, a craft brewery with roots in North Little